You're watching Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for the unity.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. I'm choking on chicken.
Why don't you set aside an hour or two? We'll have a few drinks and a cup of coffee I don't drink.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. Do you like nerd stuff? Yeah? Then you'll love this. You never know what might happen or who might show up at the lounge.
And now I'll make the point better. This joint's clever. In the lounge with Poindexter. So Poindexter Lounge, you know that we can get it in. And now I'm headed up like I'm Led Zeppelin.
I just want to thank you for being here and being my friend. It's always good to have someone you could count on. And I'm glad you're that for me.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, and it is good to have you with me in the lounge. It's good to be in the lounge. StreamYard is acting really wonky tonight. I had to reboot, and then I had to reboot again after I was doing the intro. So here's hoping we get to the show. Anyways, it is good to have you. Hey, if this is your first time to the lounge, just know that the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and our crew, meaning all of our nerd family, that's you, can get together and talk about all the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more. And if those are things that get you excited, if those are things that get you staying up late or getting up real early, depending upon where you are in the world, then hey, welcome. We're glad you're here. So please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. And also, before you leave tonight, if you could give us a thumbs up, give this video a like so that YouTube knows that people like what we're doing here. Would really, really appreciate that. It would mean the world to me. Speaking of meaning the world to me, we're just glad you're here. We're glad for everyone who watches the channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. We really appreciate you. And of course, everyone who is part of our Patreon. So all of our patrons, thank you guys. Thank you to everyone who gives super chats. Thank you as well to all of our members. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I'm looking for my stuff. I don't know what happened to my stuff. I had stuff here, and I don't know where it all went. We've got a giveaway this month or this week that we're finally giving. Oh, here it is. All right, we got it. But thank you to all the members. And by the way, this is updated now. So between the patrons and the members, it's all updated. It's all good. And we're all set, ready to go. And we are going to give this away this week. I promise you. So please, anybody who gives a super chat, or if you're a member or you're a patron, you are in the running for this 3-pack. I know it seemed like forever since I started this giveaway. But we really haven't streamed that much this month. I've been doing a lot more like toy videos this month and a lot of different kinds of videos this month. So like to give people a chance and an opportunity to get in. So this will be the giveaway. We'll definitely do this week. So look for that. That being said, it's good to have you guys in here tonight. And I see you all are already out in force. And I just looks like I may have... hold on a second. I want to make sure that I go back here because StreamYard has already bounced me, excuse me, past the beginning of the show. And so welcome to the show. Good to have you guys. It's always good to see you guys. And I know it's been a couple of days, but we're just thankful to have you, just always thankful for you guys. Last time we were on Friday night and live, and we saw the return of CM Punk, which was just a really cool thing if you're a wrestling fan at all. I'm excited about that, and I hope you are too. But yeah, so it's been a good weekend. Rested up a little bit, but just want to say hi to everybody. What's up, Brian? What's up, Geek Studios? I'm gonna be on Geek Show this week, so be looking for that. What's up, Zentech? Good to see you, Zentech. What's up, Black Ops? Good to see you. Anthony Grigsby, always good to see you. RJ, it's always good to see you, sir. And we got a new T-shirt actually that'll be going up here pretty soon, inspired by RJ. We'll talk about that in a little while. What's up? Mark Leaf says, I'm grinding through the Marvel TV shows, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, etc. Marvel is so overrated. It's all bloated as hell. Two eps where one would do good. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I haven't even gotten to those yet. I know I'm so far behind all that stuff, but it's like every time I start, I just like, I don't know, something else comes up. Restore the Jarbo verse, says H. Bartz. Did it ever go away? I don't know. Or did it just say that it didn't want to do movie news for a couple of days and then come back? So I think it already got restored. What's up, Bradley? Says Enosh. Oh, how I missed you. Oh, virtual hug. I love you so much, man. I love you all so very, very much. What's up? What's up, Garguts Entertainment? Yo, 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 yo. Good to see you, bro. Let's see. Who else is here? Bradley. I think I already got to Bradley. Mary Wilcox is here. Always good to see Mary Wilcox in the house. As always, Cherie is here. Good to see you, Cherie. The Dork Knight is here. Says it's party time with my party people right here at the lounge. That's right. All the lounge lizards are here and ready to go. Let's see. Andy R is here. What's up, Andy? Good to see you, brother. And Hans is here. What's going on, Hans? Says Daddy Enosh virtual hug. Hey, much love to all of you. Appreciate all of you guys who send your love. What's up, Simeon? Good to see you. As always. Let's see. Who else is in here before we go? Before we get to everybody. We got a great panel tonight, by the way. A lot of great people back here. The Kermit in the intro is not officially licensed by $3 Theater, a subsidy of H. Bart's Enterprises. That's true. We're working outside of $3 Theater, and we have some new ones, H. Bart's, some new Kermits. So you got to stick around. What's up, Nova Joe? What's good? What's good? Hit that like, y'all. Absolutely hit that like for sure. We appreciate each and every like for sure. Let's see. What's up, the Richard? Good to see you. Hey, the Richard. I was going to show you, man. So, I've been doing a lot of Masters of the Universe toy reviews this week, trying to get all those out of the way. I just released a new one tonight, and you can find that right here on the channel. But look what I got, the Richard. I got my book, man. Got my He-Man Masters of the Universe mini comic collection, each and every one. Thank you, the Richard, for turning me on to this book. This is amazing. It's going to take me forever to get through it, but oh my gosh, so awesome. So awesome. And so heavy and thick. It's like a Bible. What's up, Zeno? Good to see you. Hot wings are too small. Let's see. Jordan, what's up, Jordan? What's good, man? Good to see you, brother. Let's see. Get to everybody here. Benimus Prime in the house. Always good to see Benimus. Let's see. JP, what's going on, JP? Nick Hammond in the house. Good to see you, Nick, as always. Let's see. A couple more, and then we'll get started here. I always like going to the chat. I always like seeing everybody who's here and just kind of, chatting for a minute, kind of taking that minute to do that. What's up, Andrew Casali? Haven't seen Andrew Casali in a while, but it's good to see you. What's up, Hi? You see, I watched so many breakdowns of the No Way Home trailer. It's always them saying the same thing, but I'm so hyped for the movie. I'll still watch it, LMAO. Well, hopefully maybe we say something different tonight because I want to talk a little bit about the trailer. We all saw it and just kind of talk about maybe what some of these things mean and kind of get into it a little bit. What's up, Kinky Sphincter? Good to see you, sir. H. Bart says, I'm planning on doing a merger between H. Bart's Enterprises and Point Dexter Lounge since I already own 60%. Zentech says, hey, Enosh, have you heard the rumors that Brad Pitt has been courted by Warner Brothers for an unknown role? I may have heard something about that, Zentech. I may have heard something about that. The Richard says, I've been watching your unboxings. Check out our PGS videos on Master of the Universe. Filmed 10 episodes so far, all about our love, not hate of Master of the Universe. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. All right. Well, it is time to go ahead and get things started. I don't know about you, but I am ready to get things started. We got a great cast of characters here tonight. And so we always got a great cast of characters here at the lounge. And so, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, you love him. I love him. He's great. I got a whole bunch more drops tonight. So we're going to have a good time. It's definitely going to be a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, always hitting the mark, always on, never off. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Master Nunn. Good to see you, Brian.
Hey, doing good. I'm finally glad to be done. It has been a very long week in the service industry. Unfortunately, we're dealing with an issue in food service at the moment, an employee shortage.
Really?
Yeah. Not so many people want to work in food anymore, apparently. And it definitely makes things very difficult when everything is short-staffed.
Yeah, we
But
had
anyways,
Max in here. We had
I'm
Max
here.
in here. We lost Max. We lost Max. He
No
probably went to
bueno.
bed. He was probably tired. All right, so but we're gonna move right along, ladies and gentlemen. Also here tonight, I love this guy. Hopefully, I get a chance to stop and see this guy this next week while I'm on vacation. But all the way coming to us from the Windy City, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nightstar Productions himself, Jerry. What's up? What's
Hey,
going on, sir?
Inosh, right across the lake.
Absolutely, man. Right across the lake, right across the big lake. Let's see. Yes, H-Barts, we are still going to do we're still going to do the Hall of Fame. We're structuring this Hall of Fame thing. H-Barts will be our first inductee into the Poindexter Hall of Fame. And yes, for anybody wondering, yes, he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. So there you go. So yes, we got him. So good to see you, Jerry. Good to see
You too. Thanks for having me on. I said in the live chat before we went on, before the show broadcast, we're getting 2 multiverses for the price of 1 broadcast tonight.
Absolutely.
Between Batman and Spider-Man. And I feel really excited that I can be on a show that has 2 of my favorite characters.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, we got lots to talk about for sure. Also tonight, we've got Black Ops. What's going on, Black Ops?
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Good to see you, sir. I haven't seen you in a while. How you been, sir?
I've been good. I just been doing my Twitch and kind of getting that off the ground. We hit 100
Man.
followers a couple days ago, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Good for you. Good for you. I'm so glad. You know, I remember when you were just talking about doing that, and look at you, man. You're off and running, and you got the whole thing up and going, man. I'm proud of you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
For sure. And then, of course, you know, he always likes to come in with a different name, but we got him here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm something of a resident justice myself.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's going on, RJ?
No, nothing much. It's been a crazy couple days, I'll say that.
Right? It has been a crazy couple days. Let's see. Where did I put that? Did I even send it over? Yes, I did. So RJ was in our private chat that we had earlier, and he was talking about Spider-Man, and him and William were going back and forth, ladies and gentlemen, on whether or not
we still have that bet. We still have the bet.
You still have the bet.
What's the bet?
William thinks that after No Way Home, they're going to yank Spider-Man out of the MCU. Like, once the contract's up with, like, this movie and the next Avengers movie, I think they're going to renew it and do it for longer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that bet going on.
But RJ was going on and on about how this movie is going to make a ton of money.
Yeah,
but not hand over fist, ladies and gentlemen. Not hand over fist. No, RJ took it one step further. It's going to make money ham over fist.
Autocorrect betrayed me. I'm sorry. I didn't even realize. I was like, "What the heck does this mean?" I looked up. It's like, "Oh no, what did I do?" I was like, "No."
You know, I kept saying ham over fist. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Then I had to go up and read it.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. So this is going to be one of our new T-shirts, ham over fist. That movie will make money ham over fist. So, no, it was just something funny.
I'll buy 5 of them. Don't worry.
Okay, good. Good. It'll be worth our time then. But yeah, no, man. I am. Look, there's lots to talk about tonight. We've got a great panel tonight, and so like I said, I got a bunch of new memes. I've got like something like 300 memes in here, man. And somebody the other night was like, Enosh needs new memes, and I'm like, I'm constantly introducing new memes,
bro.
Like new drops left and right, man. New things left and right. Okay, so we got one more guy coming in who may argue with RJ's ham over fist statement.
Oh,
and
boy.
And you know what? He may just absolutely come in and just absolutely squash RJ. Ladies and gentlemen, William.
That poor table.
Ham over fist. I saw this earlier today, and I'm like, what in the hell?
Autocorrect betrayed me twice. It kept saying ham over fist, so I'm going to say hand.
It betrays me all the time.
That's like a Dawsonism. I like that. Yes, I said a Dawsonism.
It's a Dawson.
What was your argument, RJ? It's probably wrong, but go ahead.
No, I was talking about the bet that we had. Remember that if I won, I'd get like $100 worth of stuff in the shop and like a signed Alex Ross comic, and then you said if you win, I had to pay $100 and buy some to your shop.
Pound it. Oh yeah, from way back. Yeah, I'm still confident.
I'm confident too, but I'm in the opposite direction. So
what's the money scale we're talking about? What's the over under here? Like, what do we?
What was okay? What certain things have changed though a little bit.
Yeah,
though?
What does successful mean?
Are you talking about? Okay, I'm not.
Well, the bet that we had was I think that they're gonna keep Spider-Man in the MCU after No Way Home and the next Avengers team up he's in. You think he's done after the contract is up?
Here's what I think, though. Like I said in the chat, I made a little bit of an adjustment. I'm still up for the bet. I think that the solo films are no longer going to be produced by Marvel, even if they allow him to be used in the characters like with Blade and Morbius, if they want to do that team up. But whereas now the Spider-Man solo movies are produced by MCU, Disney, Marvel, I don't think that's going to be the case after this deal expires. Even if they have some kind of hybrid deal for the outside stuff, I still think that they're going to produce their own movies after this deal expires as far as their solo content. And they're going to control the narrative for a whole bunch of different reasons, financially and narrative-wise and ego-wise. I mean, it all points in that direction for me.
I mean, it's one of their biggest IPs. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they continued it going.
Well, it's going to be the biggest IPs no matter what. It's going to be the bigger. And here's what I was saying. People think that Sony can't, make $1 billion without Disney. But like I was saying before, if you do the math, after they get their first dollar profit, which means they get paid before anybody else, as far as I understand, they're giving up in between 70 to 100 million to begin with. So they're not making $1 billion, right outright. So if you do the math after all the production costs and everything else, you're right at where Venom made. And that was a movie that was not associated with MCU directly that way.
And that brings in the whole thing where I was like, well, if Venom's making this much money on its own, they're fine, right? The Spider-Man stuff's in addition to that. That's why I think if the Venom stuff's still successful, they'll keep them.
Yeah,
or bring Spider-Man in when they want to.
Yeah, what if Carnage tanks?
Well, you know what? Let's talk about that for a second. Welcome, DL.
Hey,
By the way, DL, I watched your breakdown of the Spider-Man trailer, and I gotta say, man, you made a lot of really good points.
Really?
Yeah.
That trailer did nothing for me, by the way.
That was kind of DL's point, is that so far, it just really didn't do anything. I mean, it was all right, but. I don't want to give DL's whole video away, but it's basically some of my own feelings too, is that at this point, like I've been saying, they've never let Tom Holland's Spider-Man just be Spider-Man.
No.
He's never had a chance to really just breathe, be that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, I was really excited because Tom Holland's Spider-Man really looked like a teenage Spider-Man, he didn't look like a 20-something-year-old, almost 30-year-old as a teenager, he really looked like a kid. And I was really hoping that we would get to see that that development, and they just kind of thrust him right into this, where it's like, man, if you think about it, my gosh, we've already got an Iron Spider. We, like his very first, costume, really, like out the gate, man, like his very first like thing, man. They gave him this, AI costume that's got, it's got his personal assistant in there. It's got a death mode or kill mode or whatever, instant kill mode or whatever. And it's like,
yeah,
it's like there's like so much to that it just feels like it doesn't feel like Spider-Man. And I get DL's point too. It's like, I don't necessarily need to see Uncle Ben die again, but like to just never be referenced,
like never.
Ever.
Feels like he's
that's
a
just
non-factor
weird
to his development.
Well, I'd say there's a chance that they bring it up in this movie. I mean, if the rumors are true that the other Spider-Man are in this, they're going to talk about their own personal history. Stuff's going to come up. If
Maybe.
I'd imagine. I mean,
I can hope. I can only hope.
Yeah.
It's already too crowded of a movie to begin with. I don't know where they would fit that in, and that's the problem. Is that I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but I need the things around him to be decluttered. And that's what I think Sony can do on their own. Like I said, if they still want to use them in the MCU, that's fine. But I think at some point, and here's the thing, these CEOs and these executives, they bet on themselves. And they got to where they are by betting on themselves. And they're looking at the fact that what they pulled in without the MCU is an indicator that they could do this on their own. And another thing, like I said, is the whole IP issue. As far as being, back and forth goes, I don't see them adding. I really hope they don't add Miles Morales to this mess. They don't need to. It's not necessary, and that character needs to develop within on his own. The strength of Miles Morales' character so far in the 11 years he's been around is his solitude. The fact that his only mentor would have been a Peter Parker. And he pretty much exists within his own pocket of the universe. While Peter Parker has gone everywhere, gone global, and gone universal, Miles Morales hasn't. And that's been the appeal. That's why his book sells as well as it does. And that's why his character appeals, because he can relate to the average teenager in a way Spider-Man can no longer.
Well, I think that we're forgetting that sometimes there can be too much of a good thing. Like, if we're given way too much all at once, and I think that's kind of how I watched the trailer. I thought the trailer looked really cool. It helped me actually. I appreciated a little bit more why he's dealing with Doctor Strange.
Well, there's consequences. They're showing consequences of what happened in the last movie, which I was worried about personally. Like, are they just going to skip over this? No, It's the whole crux of the story. The entire story revolves around the consequences of the last movie when it happened, which I appreciate. And the only thing I'll say about, I think, again, I got to wait and see how the movie plays out, obviously, but I think this movie's going to address some of the criticisms some people have. Because I think because obviously they're taking elements from One More Day, which is a horrible story in the comics, but I think they're reworking it well enough to where it could probably be okay. I think this movie might set up a world where you get the Spider-Man you guys kind of are alluding that you want, where he's more independent, where they're taking away everything, right? But by taking away everyone's memories, potentially, they're going to like reset him again for the next trilogy, where he's not going to have as much of a financial tie to like Tony Stark and all this and that, right? I think that's the goal of this movie, to like set him in a place where you guys are wanting him to be, I think.
Then here's my thing, like with because it's obvious they're setting up a multiversal Sinister Six in this movie, and it's like, I should be excited because they got Alfred Molina back, they possibly got William Dafoe back, they got Jamie Foxx back, and all this whatnot. I should be excited for this because I grew up with the Tobey Maguire movies and the Andrew Garfield films, but for some reason it doesn't feel right seeing, the trailer is probably doing a misdirect. We don't know exactly what's going to happen in that scene, but it's like with Tom Holland interacting with Alfred Molina, I don't feel that emotional connection that I did with the older movies because they never interacted before. Tom Holland's Spider-Man has never interacted with a Dr. Octopus or a Green Goblin or an Electro. These are villains from other universes. So the connection that they built from Andrew Garfield's and Tobey Maguire's, they're just trying to slap it onto Tom Holland, and it just doesn't feel right. And then if they eventually do more spin-offs with Tom Holland by himself without having so much ties with the MCU, are they just going to reintroduce these characters for Tom Holland's universe? We're going to get a new Doc Ock and a new Green Goblin and a new Electro. Won't that feel kind of redundant at that point because you already did a somewhat of a Sinister Six type of connection already?
Well, I'll be honest with you. The Doc Ock thing, I didn't even like the way that scene looked in the trailer. I thought I didn't like I didn't like
de-aging. Didn't really look natural.
No, the framing of it.
I thought I was the only one that noticed that. No,
the framing of it, there was something off about that when he walks into the frame, and like I didn't like the way that he looked in the frame. I didn't like the way that it looked, like you said, like, and I didn't even think about the de-aging thing, but now that you mentioned that, like, it just looked off.
Yeah.
Speaking of off, ladies and gentlemen, Bruce, my good buddy Bruce. No, I love Bruce. Jenner Custom Toys here with a $5 super chat says, "Love me some Spider-Man," and I love me some Bruce. So Bruce, since I know that you're a big Star Wars guy, this drops for you.
You lost your mind.
That's great.
I understand what that stormtrooper goes through.
Okay, that's TMI. Hey, but here's the thing, though. I heard on a couple other things I was listening to today. Like I said, and I was telling Spain and RJ's assistant in the chat, Sony is not wholly dependent on MCU to make a successful Spider-Man. And my example that I gave is that, yes, they have benefited from the association with Disney MCU, but that association doesn't go away if they go on their own. My example was Roger Waters. Roger Waters hasn't been a member of Pink Floyd since 1985, yet he could sell out a stadium here, and people are still going to go see him based on that association that will never leave him. He's still going to do The Wall. He's still going to do Comfortably Numb. He's still going to do Wish You Were Here. And guess what? He's going to sell out. That association, that Tom Holland Spider-Man, is not going to lose that shine. The only way that they could really mess that up is if they do a bad movie, which you got to give any studio the benefit of the doubt that they learned from everything, is that they put out a pretty decent movie. Sony's not, some crackerjack organization. They're a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. So just the fact that when this came out, people were like, they'll never leave the MCU. Yeah, it's business. It's business because 125, 150 million in between, that's a lot of money that you're giving to Marvel right off the top. Right off the top, you're giving that. And if you think your movies can make 858 on their own, anywhere between 700 to 800 million, you're basically right where you were at without giving them first dollar. So don't be surprised if these guys' egos think they can go ahead and do this.
William, I got a question for you. Do you think that the direction this is going in with the multiverses was some kind of a creative compromise between Sony and Disney because they knew that the rights were going to be coming up with the IP, or do you think it was a happy accident that this multiverse idea allows for them to figure out how they're going to sort this out after that?
Well, with the multiverse, that's part of it. But I think what the multiverse does is allow them to extract and blend in the IPs that they've acquired over the last couple of years. That includes Fox. That allows them to kind of interweave these things without having a long, drawn-out 10, 11-year explanation. And one of the things for Spider-Man, for me, is I think that is a way out for both of them to renegotiate on better terms if they want to. I still think Sony is, with the solo movies, they are going to produce from the expiration of this deal on. Now, as far as Spider-Man existing in MCU and all that, that can happen just as well as an Amazing Spider-Man 300 can exist while he's hanging out in Fantastic Four in the very same month. So that's not going to be a problem there. But I do think that that they are building a Spider universe to put him in it because they believe that they can tell a Spider-Man story, and it's not dependent on Disney and MCU. And like I said, if you're running a multi-billion-dollar film studio, why you're not going to listen to some fanboy that says you can't do anything without MCU. You're going to listen. You're going to look at your box office and you're going to look at your proven history. Good and bad.
Yeah. Ultimately, my thing is, I think they want to have their cake and eat it too. Like I think, like a year ago, 2 years ago, Feige said Spider-Man is the one character they had that can cross between universes. My thing is, with the multiverse being added, I think that only supports the idea that he can be in both. He can be in their Sony movies. And they have they're adjacently connected to the MCU. I mean, Morbius has Michael Keaton's Vulture in there, and they have references to the ending of Far From Home. really weird stuff in that movie, and probably in Venom 2 as well. There's going to be some mentions of the MCU stuff too. So again, I think it's going to be a case where they're going to have their cake and eat it too.
Well, I think they'll be able to. I think, but like I said, I think that the big caveat, the big difference in between the deal that's constructed, has been constructed before, and now, or in the future, is that the solo movies, they're going to take control of where the Spider-Man direction goes, and there's a lot of reasons they should. Dial brought up a good point. I'm seeing somebody else's Green Goblin. I'm seeing somebody else's Doc Ock. I'm not seeing Tom Holland's. And I think in order for these characters to really bolster him, they need to grow with him as they grew with those characters that you saw 20 years ago. And I think you undercut him by not giving him the room to evolve after he's a teenager.
Well, it could be a case though where those characters don't show up to like the end of the second act, beginning of the third act, though. Right, to where
but either way, they're in the movie. That's what they're setting up.
Yeah.
It's coming.
They're in Tom Holland's movie. They're in a movie with Tom Holland.
Yes, so but he has no connection to them. He's just going to view them as bad guys running around. He's not going to have any personal connection to them. That's why you bring in the other Spider-Man who have that history. Because I don't think Doc Ock is talking to Peter at the end of that trailer. I think he's talking to Tobey Maguire.
It has to be because
but that's okay. It's a Tom Holland movie, but that is once again dependent on other aspects other than his sole character. And I think that's what Sony can do going forward is because
we don't even know the full lineup though. There could be a couple of villains like Vulture could come back or Mysterio or somebody in this movie that is connected to him though. Potentially.
Yeah, but I've seen enough that aren't. That really, like I said,
I mean, look, that could be Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker that's standing there, right? When Doc Ock walks up.
Yeah, the trailer could be cut. Don't take everything you see in the trailer. Yeah, it's a misdirection. But another thing too, I think I was going to say in regards to the trailer, the thing that, as much as I enjoyed it, the glaring thing that stands out to me is this doesn't feel like Dr. Stephen Strange. It almost feels, the cavalier attitude in which he does it, and it's almost played for laughs and comedy, very much like the last Spider-Man movie had more laughs and comedy in it. I'm really wondering how they're going to explain why Strange does something like this.
I think there's going to be an explanation for why, but I know we have a couple super chats. So I don't know if you want to read this first.
Yeah, I know. It's the age-old WandaVision answer. It's Mephisto.
Oh,
it's Mephisto.
Listen,
I've seen that so many times today.
Listen.
I swear to God, I have seen it so many times today. It's Mephisto. It's Mephisto.
I sent a TikTok tonight that said it was
That
Mephisto.
would make sense though, guys, because
I know
Doctor Strange wouldn't do this.
Mephisto since WandaVision and not jack shit happened. Come on.
So, first off,
okay, we got. Hold on, let me get to these couple super chats. Brian, hold your.
No worries.
Hold your thought right there. Okay, so first of all, Peter Rabbit, and this is a couple of these are going off. So let's make sure we hold this because we're having a good Spider-Man discussion. So I want to come back to Spider-Man, but I do want to recognize these super chats. So first of all, Peter Rabbit's Defender with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Peter Rabbit's Defender. You're awesome. Thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife reaction at CinemaCon? Mostly positive, but it looks like this will be the true Ghostbusters 3 that we've been waiting for. I'll just say this: I think it's cool. I saw that we were. It looked like we were finally getting this as a Ghostbusters 3 when the toys came out. Because when the toys come out with older versions of the Ghostbusters, I thought that was cool. I think that this sounds like it's going to be a rightful passing of the torch with the original Ghostbusters playing a role in it, and I dig that. Anybody else quickly got any thoughts on
the way
on
they
that?
always should? It's the way they always should have done it, and the direction that they took with Ghostbusters 2016. It's just like, what the hell were they thinking? This was the right way to do it. It's taken a long time to get it.
I say that as somebody who actually I don't hate Ghostbusters 2016.
It's not funny.
I don't hate it either.
I don't hate it.
I don't like it.
I don't understand.
I don't like it either.
I'll be honest with you.
Honestly,
I don't
it's the same
understand.
quality as Ghostbusters 2. It's the same quality as Ghostbusters
I like Ghostbusters 2 more than Ghostbusters 2016. And if you're going to logically advance a story, if they were going to do Ghostbusters 2016 and introduce all the new characters, they should have basically been franchising from the original characters to completely disregard everything about Ghostbusters that made it Ghostbusters on this ego-driven romp that the director decided to do, completely dismissing what came before it. I thought it was disrespectful. it was offensive, and I don't think that the script was very funny with all the talent that was involved. What we're seeing with this Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer is exactly the direction they should have gone in decades ago. And I mean, although it's been so long in coming, thank God they finally figured it out.
Man,
I finally got a word in as far.
Yeah. Well,
man, you just came in like squashed it again.
Yep.
And that, friends, is why I don't wrestle.
No, like I said, the funniest thing about all the reactions coming in is everybody saying this is the Ghostbusters sequels the fans have always wanted and were asking for. Like, no. Well, I mean, the fans who wanted a Ghostbusters movie.
Ghostbusters movie since the first one. So
right,
yeah,
that's
this
true.
is the sequel that I missed.
Ghostbusters 2 is one of the worst sequels I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm just saying.
It was better than Ghostbusters 2016.
I just don't understand all the hate for Ghostbusters 2016. Like, I'll be the first to say,
really
like, I'm
wasn't
glad.
that bad.
I'll be the first to say I'm glad that they're moving in this direction for like to make an actual Ghostbusters 3, because I would have preferred an actual Ghostbusters 3 continuation of the original story than to just do something brand new. But I like all those ladies in that movie, and I like them in that movie. And I'll just be honest with you, like, I dig that movie. Like,
I
didn't dislike the women. It was a horrible script. They deserved better. If you're going to have that kind of a cast, kind of talent.
Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2 was a horrible script.
Oh yeah, Ghostbusters 2 is awful. So
literally, this one of the worst.
I don't think I liked it. I'm with
alright.
him. I liked it.
I mean,
I didn't like it.
We'll have a
like,
lot more
ton.
Ghostbusters coverage. Trust me.
as it comes out.
As it comes out, Peter Rabbit's Defender. So be looking for that. John Collins with a $10 super chat. Thank you, John. You're awesome, man. Says Enosh, I watched the live stream from the other night when you guys were discussing wrestling, which I think we may do that a little bit more. My question. Oh, hey now. All right, new show. My question is: when movie stars come back to wrestle, does it interfere with the suspension of disbelief? So here's the thing.
Depends on who it is.
It depends on who it is. Yeah, like when The Rock comes back, I just always expect The Rock to win because The Rock ain't gonna lose.
Yeah.
And if he does, it's going to be some cheap way. They're never going to let The Rock lose clean.
But on the opposite spectrum, when John Cena comes back, I expect him to lose because he always puts over somebody.
Yes.
He lost. He loses to Roman Reigns recently.
That
puts
was
him over as
right.
the top heel.
But don't you think it gets to the point though where it's like if that's your only job is to just job out to people, like at some point, because I get they want to bring back a lot of times these veterans and they have them do that, to put these guys over. But the problem is if you do that too many times in a row like that, then you start to lose credibility. You lose the impact because then people just look at you like, well, they just don't have it anymore.
Well, you mean like Hulk Hogan in WCW?
Yeah. Well, I'd argue that like recently at SummerSlam, Roman Reigns should not have lost. Like he's the top heel for a reason. He should have beat John Cena, to be honest, and keep going. Build him up as the unstoppable monster that he is right now, but that's a whole side thing,
You bet, yeah, but you've had 365 days of him with the title to do that, and it hasn't really stuck the way they wanted to.
Well, if it's good booking, though, you have a rising star beat Roman Reigns to put them over. That's
Brock
Lesnar. I know you're not going to see that. I know. It's bad. It's dumb and bad.
That pay-per-view was worth the $4.99 I paid for Peacock, so I'll give it that.
I'm just going to be honest with you. Like at this point, John Cena just doesn't do anything for me. John Cena just like I don't care. I just nothing. Well, like I've got the same figure, dude. But I'll be honest with you. Like I was going to order the one. I was thinking about ordering the one without the helmet, and then I was just like, why?
It doesn't look like John Cena.
Like they've made a million John Cena figures and they make one DC figure of him and it doesn't even look like John Cena.
Same with the Bloodsport one. It doesn't look like Idris Elba.
So like I was just like, whatever.
That's because they didn't pay that extra money to have their faces scanned.
Well,
they went the cheap route.
It's just
I'll be honest, like at this point, like seeing how much edge he has in his movie roles, like I'm expecting like a different persona when he goes back to WWE, but no, he's doing the same thing he's done for the past 20 plus years, however long he's been in WWE. I want to see something new from Cena.
That's because he's doing what he's told. He's doing how they book him, and it's that pay-per-view was literally partying like it was 2003. Edge
Pretty
was
much.
there doing the same shit that he did in 1998.
It was a good match, though.
Hey,
to be
hey,
fair.
It was a
William,
great match,
William,
but
William. It doesn't matter what you.
That was 2003. That was a great match, but what was the whole brood? I mean, I was looking for Gangrel to come back. I mean, it was, you know, and then the whole Bianca. That I was
That was
watching it with
horrible.
people.
Oh
I was
my
watching it with a
God.
group of people who were so pissed off about that.
I was pissed. Like, I don't
Um,
get angry at wrestling too very often,
yeah.
but that visibly made me angry. I was so
That was
disappointed at the end
horrible.
of that.
A buddy of
I
mine
don't
got
care
up.
that
Get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, you cranked our knobs all right.
I'm just saying, you bring back Becky Lynch after all this time, and you have her job out the women's champion.
In a squash
Disrespecting
match.
her in a squash
Yeah,
match.
horrible squash
Horrible.
And then the whole Goldberg thing was like, wow, that was just a long bathroom break. You know, the only thing I was waiting for, the only reason why I didn't turn that off is because I fully expected Biggie to come in with the briefcase and smack him on the head and take the title. That's the only reason
That's
why
probably what should have happened, to be
That's
honest.
what should have happened.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Damn right.
you know
That's
what?
why
It's hardcore.
AEW is gonna bury you, motherfucker.
You know what? You know what? I'm telling you right now, AEW is poised and ready for a huge surge, man.
Do you see the ratings they got for Friday? The CM Punk return?
No, I didn't actually see the numbers.
They hit 1.23 million.
Yeah.
They
On a
actually
Friday night.
they actually and it beat SmackDown in demographics. They beat SmackDown.
That was a
So-
go home show, a SmackDown that led directly into not WrestleMania, but SummerSlam, and that's
Their
really
second
hard to
biggest
do.
pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah, that's hard to do. It's hard to get ratings on a Friday to begin with, but for them
Yeah.
to get that many people up against a competition that is leading into their second highest pay per view of the year, that's impressive. And that tells you, people can say what they want about CM Punk about how he doesn't move the needle. He did it. He moved the needle.
Oh, like Roman Reigns when he said he never moved the needle. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, Vince McMahon, a couple other people, and I'm like, dude, for
Yeah, a lot of
17
people say
minutes,
that.
there was no wrestling. There was no wrestling for the first 17 minutes of that show, and they had people glued to that. We were watching it live. I mean, so, you know, and the guy won't wrestle until what? Possibly September 5th? September 4th?
September 5th. Yeah, that's his first ever wrestling match in 7 years.
And this is an AEW that is not even fully manned yet. They still got two major people to bring in, you know, to widen the gap. So, yeah, I mean, and like I said, WWE has plenty of talent. It's just a booking. I mean, John Cena's going to do whatever they pay him to do. Goldberg
They
is gonna
have
do
one of
whatever
the
they pay him
best
to do.
rosters they've ever had, and it's ruined because of booking.
Yeah, I like Bianca. I mean,
and real quick, I do want to do this because I know we want to get back to our subject, but did you all see what Booker T said?
No, what do you say?
Okay, so Booker T
He says a lot of stupid stuff. Though.
Booker
I
T
know.
said some stupid stuff, and I don't want to alienate everybody who's not a wrestling fan with all, but I will say this. So Booker T said that something to the effect that because CM Punk referenced WWE, which he did in an off way, he didn't like.
He didn't name drop them.
He
Yeah.
didn't name drop them, but you know, he talked. But I mean, I think I think what he said was justified, given like where he was coming from and like the past and everything. But Booker T said that the fact that he referenced WWE in this moment and gave away the ice cream bars, he was upset about the ice cream bars. Which, by the way, CM Punk actually paid for those ice cream bars.
How could you be upset at him giving away the ice cream bars? That was amazing.
Because he said that he was missing the mark. Because he was referencing those things instead of focusing on where he was going and why he was there and everything. But the
That's
thing
next week. Though.
I
That's the
know.
He literally had to stare down with Darby Allin and
Yes.
Sting. They
Yes,
set up the match he's doing.
And you know, and the thing is, come to find out, CM Punk actually did when he said, you know, have an ice cream bar on me to everyone who was there at the stadium.
He did that.
It came out that he's been working with AEW for a year and a half, apparently, to get those ice cream bars made. He footed the entire bill for everyone there in the stadium to walk out with an ice cream bar.
Yeah, they were handing them out as you left the arena.
Yes. So it was
That's
an
how the
absolute.
Raptors were cool. Somebody
Yeah.
was selling one on eBay. It was hilarious.
Yeah, Spherical Man. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, why would you want a headless peacemaker? That's funny.
Listen, I love Booker T. Like sometimes he's really entertaining as a commentator and just as a person, but when he has his podcast and he gives his wrestling takes, they're just so bafflingly dumb. I just don't get it.
Yeah,
Well, he's become a company man for WWE. He used to be one of the more outspoken guys out there, but he's become a shill. And a lot of those guys have Roman Reigns. Those guys are going to depend. They're going to defend their what is their home turf, and where they figure that that's their family. We have fans that kind of like,
I get it, but yeah, I didn't think that it was not a good take at all. Real quick, the Richard asked me, because I've been doing a lot of these Masters of the Universe figures lately, which is my fave. So I got to say right now, those Revelation figures are pretty awesome. And if you see my the He-Man that comes in that line, I did that, and the Battle Cat. That Battle Cat is huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
That Battle Cat dwarfs every Battle Cat that has come after now, and I've got that thing. Like, it takes up some real estate on my shelf, to be quite honest with you. And but it's great. So I'm really loving those figures. I gotta say, the best hands down figure that I've gotten in a while is that new Evil Lyn.
The Evil Lyn one's really sick. I really like it.
That Evil Lyn figure is just primo. I mean, the fact she comes with an alternate head, so she comes with the regular, standard head,
or
and then also
hair.
the long hair, and
gives you alternate head.
Yeah.
I said she gives you alternate head.
Yes, she does.
Oh my god.
Yes, she does. Well,
right.
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you.
I'm just saying. Yeah, no, it is what it is. Yeah. So I gotta say, Richard, that's my favorite figure right now. Actually, is that Evil Lyn. So, yeah. So there you go. Let me see here. Anything else? Okay. So, well, all right. So I by the way, I got new drops too. We'll get to them tonight, but I think it's fitting. We'll go back to Brian
Spider-Man
here. Brian with his Spider-Man take, and we'll lead in with this.
Okay, let's go see this latest piece of Marvel shit you kids are jizzing over.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, Brian, and back to the Spider-Man talk.
All right. Well, first off, it was Agatha all along.
All along.
Okay, so I don't want to hear none of this Mephisto crap.
It's Mephisto.
Okay.
But
second,
I will say real quick, there is actual evidence, though.
Are we saying that Doctor Strange was acting strange?
Too strange. Doctor Strange was certainly not acting.
Good Lord,
himself.
we waited all that time for that?
No. Fair enough. I'm tired.
No, it's funny. It's funny.
I'm honestly though, that's probably going to be my piece because I'm like really sleepy. It's been a long week, guys. So I'll probably bounce out here in a little bit.
It's hard working in food service, man. I understand.
Dude, it's just that's his life, man. That's his life.
All right. So what did you ask something else there, Brian?
No, I mean, as far as like the Spider-Man trailer went, I was stoked on it, man. I had no issue with it. Like, with regards to does he stay or does he go? I think it really has lots of bearing on how successful Carnage is. Because if Carnage don't make any money, then it kind of puts Sony in a not so comfortable position when it comes to negotiating for Spider-Man in the future. So
we got a story on that. I didn't put it in the headline, but I got a story on that in just a second. But real quick before we transfer from the Spider-Man thing, what did you guys think of the fact that the trailer was leaked?
It's a matter of time. Only a matter of time.
What isn't these days?
I did an entire video on my channel dedicated to explaining the story behind that leak because it's a fascinating.
What's up, Tony?
Hey, what's up, Tony? It's a fascinating discussion because the reason it got leaked was because a scooper community, basically led by superhero theorist, basically got in contact with someone named Wasilia Lamauchi, who works for the
his name
VFX
is
company.
right on the screen. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
the screen was watermarked with superhero theorist name, superhero theorist, the name of the organization, and the VFX artist. And it's this whole back and forth thing where basically the reason it got leaked is because superhero theorist broke the trust of Wasilia Lamauchi by sharing it with people connected to him, other scoopers who got connected to fans and stuff. It was a whole mess. Basically, a VFX artist has probably been blacklisted forever and has lost her job. Superhero theorist is probably going to get taken to court. Like I said, the video's on my channel. Go check it out. Like it's a very interesting story, but it was a whole mess. Honestly, there's a chance that this trailer would not have come out today at CinemaCon had it not been leaked. It's the exact same trailer that was leaked. The exact same.
I think CinemaCon was going to release it today because it was Sony's presentation.
Well, I used to think that, but because of the Venom 2 news that's come out recently, I think they might have held on to it for a little longer, potentially. But I don't know. Maybe they weren't going to release it anyway.
It's kind of tough to say because of the way the relation, like you were saying before, the relation that this movie has to Doctor Strange, whereas Venom does not. And that
if this movie gets delayed, No Way Home, they cannot release Doctor Strange 2 because chronologically, this one has to come out before that movie. So if No Way Home gets delayed, it's going to be a chain reaction of delays for like everything.
Tough call too, because when you delay a movie, you just hurt yourself financially.
Well, there's this news. Brian was talking about Venom, but now, once again, they're talking about Let There Be Carnage is reportedly pushed back to 2022.
Forget about it.
Yeah, it'll take the same date that Morbius was going to have, January 21st.
Well, you can't see with these guys with their budgets. They can't release these movies in a pandemic-stricken market because by the time they do that, they're really taking a hit because this is borrowed money.
Yeah. Well, Sony
it still doesn't matter. It's not going to clear up by January.
Well, the thing is that
it'll be better.
I don't see what pushing it off is going to do.
It'll be better. It'll be a better.
They're going to make jack
shit. It'll be better in January than
no, it's
not because people are still good. Okay, first off, it's the wintertime, and people are get sick way more often during the wintertime than they do during the summertime.
There'll be a bigger push for vaccines.
Vaccines mean nothing. Vaccines mean nothing. You tell people they can't go to the theaters if they don't get vaccinated. Did they gonna go?
My sister was vaccinated and she got Delta. She was a breakthrough case.
Yeah, so
it protected her from getting really, really sick. But unfortunately, keep in mind the vaccine will keep you safe if you get Delta, which is why everybody should get it. I mean, but they're not foolproof with protecting you from these different mutant strains.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm still arguing with some people. I'm still arguing with some people in my life about just getting the freaking vaccine to begin with. Okay.
No, so basically, I'm just saying pushing a movie off. At this point,
that's minimum, by the way.
Pointless.
It's
pointless.
Minimum. January is just the minimum push. It will most likely. I
think the interest the movies are going to accrue is going to almost be more than the monies they're going to make.
Well, that's too late. That's too late. They're not going to win that battle, unfortunately.
I mean, unfortunately,
that's why you have to release it in. You have to release it in the summertime, because your best bet to make back your money is going to be in a era that is not as stricken by the pandemic as it is now.
Well, like all the studios have been saying, they're all hedging their bets to see what Candyman and Shang-Chi do at the box office. That's what everyone's waiting for.
I'm excited
Candyman
to see
is
Candyman.
Great, by the way. I just got done with that.
Yeah, you're telling me. I'm looking forward to Candyman.
It is not a reboot. If anybody asks you if it's a reboot, it is not. It is
I'm so excited.
Continuation? It's a continuation?
Yes. In every way.
Let's go.
More than you know. More than you know. I don't want to spoil it, but more than you know.
Dude, I'm so hyped. You have no idea. I love horror movies, and this looks amazing.
I'll just be honest with you. I think the Shang-Chi is just going to crash and burn.
It ain't gonna make dude. I think your guys' hopes for Shang-Chi are way too high.
I think it's gonna make good money.
Shang-Chi is not gonna do anything because it's coming out within a month. Nobody's gonna go to the theaters to watch it. Okay, I think people are way overestimating. I think people are overestimating, dude. It's the hardcore fans that still care. General public probably does not. No, I'm just saying, like the normies.
I mean, why?
We're not normies.
Here in Canada, we're 75% vaccinated, and everybody can go to the movie theater. Did you guys fuck something up?
No, I'm just saying. Do they?
I think it'll see.
They're not.
I think it'll
They're
see.
not going to the theaters. That's the problem.
the
Why
hardcore
not?
fans are going to go
Everybody
skip the
is.
theater the weekend it opens. But I think beyond that, it's
I'm just
drop
saying.
off like Black Widow did.
I think the word of mouth for Shang-Chi will be pretty strong. Personally,
Well, the problem is Shang-Chi.
but-
I know him as a geek. I know who he is, the master of Kung Fu. This is one of those ones where Joe Average may have to, that it will be on word of mouth. I've heard great reviews of it, but 45 days from now, I can actually watch it on Disney Plus. I think that's
not Disney Plus. I think they said in 45 days we'll be able to rent it.
Yeah,
then
on
Disney
demand.
Plus like another month. But still,
I mean, so that's where you're going to have to measure some of its success, not wholly by what's in the theater, because it's not an Iron Man, it's not a Spider-Man.
I'd say if it opens with like 50 to 60 million, I think they'll be okay.
It is not going to. It is not.
If it opens,
open
somebody's
that
getting promoted. If it opens that, it can happen. It can happen.
I'd say 45 to 50 is where I think it's going to open at.
That would be great. That would be great because, like I said, you figure you're going to make some money on the back end with the on demand.
Brian, we're the realistic ones here.
I don't know what to tell you guys. People aren't going to the theaters. It doesn't matter what movie it is. People are not going to the theaters.
What about Free Guy? Free Guy had an amazing hole in its second weekend. It grossed another 18 million.
It made 26 million, dude. It made 26 million week one. It made 26 million week one.
You got to understand.
But that's an original IP, though. Original IP.
What are we going off
of
of based off before the pandemic?
Yeah.
We're talking billion-dollar movies, and now we're talking a success is a $25 million opening weekend.
Yeah.
What is this, 1981? Like
I know. I'm not saying it's like
I'm just
talking
saying
about pandemic times, right?
I get it. But what I'm just saying is that realistic expectations and the fact that nobody's going back to the theaters anymore. Okay, aside from what's been announced, what has been announced aside from that for streaming services? Look at HBO Max. They haven't released or announced a thing for the theaters aside from what's in production right now. Everything else, it's going to be on HBO Max. It's going to be on HBO Max. Dude, they are steering away from theaters harder than you can say steering away from theaters.
Well, I hope Beverly Hills Cop 4 doesn't go to theaters and just stays.
It'll go straight to Amazon, just like
dude,
America too.
Netflix.
So
Netflix.
what about?
Axel Foley's coming back.
Dude, and that sucks. That sucks. All these
That movie
movies,
was awful, by the way.
All these movies. No, I liked it. I liked it.
No,
I actually really liked
this
it.
is a new one. New one.
Lord.
I really liked it. I really liked it.
Wait, you like the third one, Enosh, or the second?
Okay, hold on a second. Everybody can't talk at once. So I'm just saying, I love the first one. The first one is one of my favorite movies of all time. The second one, look, it's on par for being a sequel that comes out 2 decades later. Okay, it's definitely on par. I thought it was funny. But
Which
look,
movie
all those movies like that, Coming to America too. Like all those
Number
movies
2
like that
America.
are basically an excuse to get like all of their buddies into a film and make a cameo, and that's what that movie was. But the story was good. I liked the story to Coming to America, and
I did not.
I did. I laughed. I laughed. That's all I care. But if Beverly Hills Cop is coming out, look, and I know they've been trying to get Beverly Hills Cop 4 off, for like a long time. But here's going to be the problem with Beverly Hills Cop, Tony, and this is my fear. When I saw Bill and Ted Face the Music,
We saw it together. We did see this,
right?
Okay,
I
agree.
waited for that film, man, for that whole time, wanting to see that film in the theater. And then when I had to see it at home like that and never got to see it in the theater, it was like watching a direct to DVD release. And it felt like that. And so like I feel like all that like it would have been
that it was worth it.
That like it would have been so much better for me if I had seen it in the theater, but because I had to see it at home for the first time, it didn't have that build up, it didn't have that feeling, and it was just like, okay, yeah, all right, I saw Bill and Ted again, and I love Bill and Ted, so I liked it. It was enjoyable. If I got to watch Beverly Hills Cop 4,
you and I would have been disappointed if we had gone to the theater to see it.
I would have.
Honestly, at the end of the day, you and I would have been disappointed. Would have been like, well, all right, popcorn was good.
Yeah, no, you know what? I think I would have. And well, yeah, and Mark leaves here. Like, so I think that Bill and Ted 3 is better than Dumb and Dumber.
That's like
Anything's better than Dumb and Dumber.
Well, Dumb and Dumber 3, whatever. What was that movie called? Or Dumb and Dumber 2?
Yeah.
Which one is it now? It's
Dumb.
That was
Dumb
the
and Dumber.
Yeah, I think it was the second one. Technically.
It was like worst and worster or something. It was
Yeah,
just-
yeah, I don't know. Anyways, the point is that like, look, you guys know me. I'm a huge supporter of the theater system. I think it's important, but one of the stories we got tonight is talking about an IP that if this stuff doesn't come together, these IPs are just going to start dying off because people just aren't going because even people who are getting vaccinated, like Nightstar said, like there's still that chance.
There's still a risk. There's still a danger.
Let me give you an example of that.
Look,
tonight.
I'm going to the theater, okay? Because when I go to the theater, I go to a theater. I'm not going to the big theater in my area. We have a huge theater that has an IMAX and all that stuff. I hate that theater. I hate Trillium. Trillium can suck it. I hate that Trillium.
What the hell's a Trillium?
Trillium is the big place.
The official flower of Ontario.
Hold on. We used to have like, we literally at one point had like 6 movie theaters in our area, right? What they did was they closed down like 3 of them and they built this huge complex of a place in like the rich area of like of
that's
our
kind of
area.
like what happened in my area. We used to
With
have
like
a couple different ones, and then
it's got an
AMC bought 'em all
IMAX.
out.
Yeah, it's got an IMAX, but it's NCG. It's got an IMAX. It's the only IMAX in our area. It's and it's like 20 minutes away. I refuse to go to that place because it sucks. But everybody goes there because, we get our free popcorn. And, they got the IMAX. And, it's the cool place to go. And all the teenagers hang out there. And I hate it. I just hate it. And so, like, I got a theater that's mid-sized. Yeah, I got a theater that's mid-sized right around the corner. There's like 12 different. It's like 12 theaters in there. It's state of the art. There's nothing wrong with it. I love going there. But the thing is, everybody's plenty distanced. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about when I go to that place because I know that the place isn't going to be packed. Like, it's going to have enough people. When I went to go see Free Guy just, the other week, we got to sit where we wanted to sit. There was plenty of people in there, but it wasn't like overrun with people where like I felt like anybody was like encroaching on me and, on top of me like that.
Here's 2 things about that, though. One thing is it's one thing to be half capacity in the Midwest and in Michigan, places like Detroit, and that's great. But if you're half capacity in the 2 major markets
Is he
like
slowing
LA
down,
and New
or
York,
is it just me?
What's up?
Are you guys slowing down, or is it just me?
It looks like it's just you, bro.
Must be
Just
just you.
you.
Why was that Canadian beer? Hey, but what ends up happening if you can't go full capacity in the major markets, or if people aren't showing up in the major market, that's game over. It doesn't matter what happens in Iowa or what happens in Kansas, and that's great that
it's all about LA, Atlanta, New York.
Yeah, because without those 2 markets, you will delay your movie. Another thing is just like tonight with Candyman and Suicide Squad. When we
get off my lawn.
When we gave away our tickets, you had an option of either I gave you a pass or I gave you the T-shirt and I gave you the poster, because about half the people that came in for the promotion were afraid to go to the theaters, and these are people that were vaccinated or not. So you had an option if you came in. Same thing with Suicide Squad. All that stuff we gave for Suicide Squad, for the 150 people that we took with us, there were plenty of people that opted out because they're just not in the mood right now to be in that crowded space of people in concentrated area. Whether their fears are unfounded or not, they are the customer right now, and it's really hard to say, let's spend $150 to $185 million on a movie and then put it in a pandemic-ridden atmosphere. They're already going to lose some money anyway. They're going to take it in the nuts. So they may as well take the slider kick in the nuts in June and July when you may have a better situation. That's why I think Venom is going to get moved again. It's not going to open in January. I bet money. It's probably going to open in June, July.
To masks today. We went back to masks today. We had to go back to masks today. And you know why? We have like the highest population where I live. 75% have double doses, okay? Mm-hmm. And we had to go back to masks today because 25% of the people don't believe in fucking science. get fucked. Okay, those people can die for all I give a shit. I don't care. Like
Tony,
seriously,
That's
I
what's,
go back
what's
Thanks for
prolonging
your
this.
engagement. It really helps
because
boost my
there are
views.
That's what's prolonging this is people, selfish people who don't get vaccinated. Well, they'll catch or they'll catch the Delta variant and they'll go out without look. The rush to reopening and getting everything back to normal when it's not normal has been insane. I mean, we talk about this a lot on my show, Chicago Corner, which covers what's been happening politically here in Chicago. Lollapalooza was okay, thousands of people per day because the city was making $150 per ticket. But then the following Friday, we're back to masking all over the city. So there's a real double message going out here. And I think that as this relates to movie theaters too, people's fears are founded because, look, I went to a comedy show here in Chicago with my sister under the illusion that, oh, I'm fine, I'm vaccinated. I went into the comedy show wearing a mask. I came out wearing a mask. But in that show, people took their masks off. And a week later, my sister had caught Delta. Luckily, I didn't. And I don't know if that's where we got it, but it really put things in perspective. We have this very false sense of security because we're vaccinated. We're going to be okay. And again, with these mutant variants coming out, there's no guarantee of that. And people are seeing that now, which is I personally am staying home more. And I think other people who are seeing that the vaccine, isn't as effective against the new strains are thinking the same. Of course, that doesn't mean the vaccines don't work. They do work because if you get it and then you get Delta, you're not going to end up in a hospital like thankfully my sister didn't. But people who haven't gotten vaccinated who are catching the first round, I just found out tonight that the producer of this film festival I was out at in Las Vegas a month ago passed away. He was on a ventilator. And I suspect it was COVID related, even though they haven't disclosed that. But from what I recall of this individual, I get the impression that they weren't too keen on getting vaccinated. So, not to make this a whole political conversation about the
it's
pandemic,
a concern that I have
relates
because I
to theaters.
I have people who are close to me that have still not gotten vaccinated. They refuse to get vaccinated. They have all these different reasons why they're not going to get vaccinated and everything. And like, look,
they don't procreate.
Well, you know what? But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tony. Look, I get it. I get it that it's easy for us to be mad, but also it's also hard when it's people who are close to us, right? There's people, that I'm pissed off at because they've done certain things.
No, you're mad. I'm mad too.
But then there's people who are close to me that like it's not me being pissed off at them. It's me being desperate for them.
But is it your decision or my decision at the end of the day?
Well, and that's the thing.
Well, at the end of the day, your decision not to get vaccinated is going to affect people around you. That it's not their decision to get sick if you don't get vaccinated and you carry it and maybe are asymptomatic.
Okay, then what are we going to do? Then lock everybody in.
So let's bring it back around. Let's bring it back around because we're going to go on that. We're going to go down that thing forever, right? And so here's the point. Here's the
social
point.
pressure is not medical advice. I'm just saying.
Regardless of everyone's opinion out there, regarding this. The point is that we are not done with this yet. And there are still people who are very concerned and very much should be concerned in going to the theater. Now, there's some of us who are vaccinated, and depending upon where we're at and what our experience is and what is going on around us, I don't have a problem going to my theater. I feel very safe going to my theater, and I've gone to the theater now several times. But the reality is, movies are not making money anywhere close to what they were making. And Brian made the point, and it's very, very much on. We're used to seeing movies make almost $1 billion, right? We're used to seeing movies like come out and make $100 million in its opening weekend, right? Or $100 million plus in its opening weekend. Now we're looking at some movies and we're going, like Free Guy came out a couple weeks ago, and Free Guy made less than Suicide Squad did, right? Now, mind you, it was made for less, and
it made more. It actually made more by like $2 million, I think, but it was barely. It was like just
no. It made less. It made less by like $1 million, I think.
No, I could have sworn it made more. Suicide
I
Squad
read, that
opened
it,
which
I
one?
read that it made more, but
Well, regardless, both of the movies were between $25 and $30 million. Neither one of them cracked $30 million. So the point is that you got a movie like Suicide Squad that was made for $180 million, and you got a movie like Free Guy that was made for a whole lot less. I don't know the exact number that movie was made for.
Like 100, I think.
Yeah, but the reality is like a movie like Suicide Squad lost $100 million. Now, the thing is I know that there's people who will look at that and go, ha ha, see, it lost. Look, I'm not laughing at Suicide Squad for any reason because, first of all, it's a DC movie. I enjoyed the movie. But second of all, you cannot judge movies right now by movies
You can't
years ago.
judge them by the same credentials.
Yeah, you can't judge. You can't. You just can't. Okay, so we need to get off of that. But also, you know, the point is, you can only sit on these movies so long as well. And, you know, like
it's a double-edged sword, honestly.
It is. It's a double-edged sword. And I don't think that they have right now a clear way of really, you know, figuring that out. So that being said, Peter Rabbit's Defender has a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Peter Rabbit's Defender. Says, is it too much that Missy and Ted's brother married in Bill and Ted 3? No, that was right on. That was dead on. Missy, by the time it's done, should have married all of us. All of us.
She worked her way down. Come on.
That is the way it is. But yes. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I didn't think it was too much. I thought it was was on point actually for that. You know, but here's the thing. I don't care what anybody else thinks of Suicide Squad. I don't care what anybody else thinks of Free Guy. I don't care what I don't base my opinions about what somebody else. Free Guy was absolutely amazing and astonishing, and everyone should go see Free Guy. But the thing is that I base my opinions off of what I like, right? And if I see a movie and I like it, if you don't like it, I'm sorry that you didn't like it. But you know what? If I enjoy it, I enjoyed it. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Film is subjective.
Right.
And so the important thing is you all need to protect yourself. You all just need to be able to judge your circumstances, know your own health, know your area and what you're exposing yourself to, because there's plenty of mutant viruses, like Nightstar said. There's all these different strains that are.
Why
that are
can't I
come.
have superpowers then? I lost my smell like 5 months ago. Can I get
That's
superpowers?
the only downside to this is we should be getting
Come
superpowers.
on, give me one. Just give me the touch. Give me the touch at least.
Give you what?
I don't even need like the eyesight or I have no smell. Give me one of the. Give me something
the superpower
good.
you're going to get, the superpower. No, the superpower is you get to pass on to the afterlife.
Oh,
That's
well, here's your
You get to
superpower.
fly.
Here's your superpower right here, Tony.
His testicle sack is now so large, he has to wear a huge hoodie upside down instead of trousers.
God,
Please stop showing that.
It's just painful to look at.
How much do I have to
Wow.
super chat to just eliminate that one from the rotation?
Wow.
That is-
As a former fat guy, you allow that? Wow. All right.
Wow, damn.
Has nothing to do with being fat. I don't know what this has nothing to do with being fat.
His testicle sack is now so large, he has to wear a huge hoodie upside down instead of trousers.
See, now you're gonna
Just reminds me of South Park.
My stomach hurt every time.
Like a duffel bag full of bowling balls.
That's more than. Oh man.
Reminds me of South Park every time I see it. It just reminds me of South Park.
The rag on a stick.
That man needs to see a doctor ASAP. Holy.
Well, I mean, like, okay. So what do you?
We don't know what that is.
So what's worse, that or this?
Dude, what is wrong with you?
What is going on? What happened? Did I leave
I
and
don't
come back
know what
and
that
it came rated R PG-13 lounge?
What is that?
What is going on?
This guy's a priest, by the way.
Right.
He's a pastor.
I'm not a
Just
priest.
I just want to let you guys
I'm
know
not
that.
a
He's
priest.
pastor.
I'm
You
not
need
a
to
priest.
bless those clips, Enosh.
Well, God bless these.
I have
folks.
a drop of
Yeah, this is- Everybody, calm down. Calm
You're
down.
getting nightmares. Jesus.
Brian.
Where should I send you a clip, Enosh, that you can review privately to determine if it's possible to share?
Send it to me through.
You see these
you can
standards?
send it through Twitter. You can send it through Twitter.
You can send me a screenshot of that.
Jordan says, "Wow, I can't believe you have the balls to do that."
Just to make DL mad about the Mephisto stuff, you should show the TikTok I sent in the group chat earlier.
Don't you dare.
Do it.
It's a really,
said-
dude was
you
like
said-
Dr.
you said-
Seuss with the rhymes.
I didn't know that you sent a
Oh
TikTok.
yeah, it's about the
So
Spider-Man
much stuff goes
stuff.
in that chat. You can lose track.
Oh yeah, it gets
Dude,
crazy
That thing
when
goes
someone
off.
brings
It
up
watched that
topics.
dings
trailer.
like every 2 seconds. Well, it's like breaking news, breaking news, breaking news.
It's a pretty good TikTok though, but I mean,
Oh.
it's
Oh,
fine
I'm
okay.
with
thinking
the Mephisto
Spider-Man's
stuff.
he's destroying the Marvel universe all of a sudden. If he's gonna go and be like, "Hey, can you please just not let my girlfriend know I'm Spider-Man?" And then, like, honestly, that's what it seems like to me when I watch the trailer. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man! You just ask Doctor Strange to be like, "Can you make sure they don't know?" And then he fucks everything up. Now you're fucked.
Well,
I
no,
just-
it's because he wants them to know. He just doesn't want everyone else to know. It's like he wants select people to know. Like his
No,
closest friends.
he's like, my best friend should know, and my girlfriend should know, but nobody else should know.
And then he screws it all up. But I don't. That doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't seem like what Doctor Strange would do. So it's kind of surprising that he would just be like, "Okay, do it."
That's why it's probably not Doctor Strange. Just saying.
Yeah.
Don't forget he
kinda-
broke the
TikTok
rules in the
for
original
DL.
movie. Did people forget that he broke the rules in the original movie? How
Yes,
is
he
so
did.
far-fetched?
Sometimes he is
Stephen
cocky.
Strange.
Sometimes.
You don't care. Stephen Strange is like, I'm the greatest in the world. I'm the best fucking. He's the Muhammad Ali of being like a surgeon, and then he breaks his hands and he's like, I'm still Muhammad Ali.
Then he gets humbled,
Do what
but
I
then he
want.
doesn't.
Spider-Man trailer last night.
Do what I want.
You
Oh,
son
yeah, this is a TikTok.
wants reality to be changed. But I don't think that was our Doctor Strange. Why would he cast a spell to change everything when he just told Wanda the danger it brings? Knowing all the outcomes is his sworn duty. And he threw it all away to help his boy get some booty? The entire trailer left me perplexed. So I had to consult the sacred text. The Spider-Verse comic is very fun. But this movie isn't based on that one. There's another arc called One More Day, where his identity is secret, but he lost MJ. He's going down a path of his own demise by a devil in disguise. That's why that man is not Doctor Strange. It's why he lets Peter call him a different name. It's why the scene in the train station wasn't a friendly situation. And even though the Time Stone was lost long ago, this guy is still wearing the Eye of Agamotto. If Peter let this imposter cast a spell on his own, he really might have no way home. Marvel dropped a Spider-Man trailer last night, and I'm telling you, something ain't right. Peter wants reality to be changed.
Look,
I think he's got good points.
That's pretty
Got good points.
That's a
good.
solid TikTok.
That's
It's a
really
pretty
good.
solid TikTok, and he had rhymes too,
I
so
agree.
it was solid.
And I agree with the Urkel thing. That 100%. Urkel grew up.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's necessarily Mephisto, but I mean, there is an episode of What If dedicated to an evil version of Doctor Strange, right? There's Nightmare. There's all these different characters. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it couldn't be the real Doctor Strange we know. I'm just saying it's a possibility. You never know at this point, right? So,
Well, you know what? You know what a nightmare is. This is a nightmare.
I thought you were gonna run the video I just sent you through Twitter.
No, I probably
was
won't run that one.
disturbing.
Probably won't run that one. That
What
one is a little
the
disturbing, but yeah, I'll spare
amazing.
everybody. I'll spare everyone from that one.
That was weird.
Brian, are you okay? You look upset. You okay?
I'm present.
Get off my lawn.
No, are you okay though, man? I love you.
He might be
you
tired. Who knows?
Tired.
Okay?
He's been pretty
I'm
bushy from the
just-
beginning.
you. Hi.
We love you, Brian.
We love you.
I love you,
So,
Brian.
Spider-Man is a movie. It's coming out.
I can't
eventually.
wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Same.
Might have to if they keep pushing stuff.
Right. But you know what else is a movie? The Flash.
Yeah.
And The Flash is a movie that's coming out with Michael Keaton. And I don't know if you actually read this, but I actually enjoyed this article. because Michael Keaton explained his Batman return, his Batman's return, and why he's doing the Flash movie.
Yeah.
And real quick, I'll just read through this real quick, and then I'm interested in hearing you guys' opinion. It says Michael Keaton says he's coming back to nail the role of Batman once again. Was always in the back of his mind before getting the opportunity with The Flash. Michael Keaton has opened up on why he's reprising his role as Batman for The Flash, revealing that he's always had the idea of coming back to, quote, nail the role one more time in the back of his mind. Although the upcoming movie is a part of the DCEU and will bring back Ben Affleck's Batman, it's been reported that Keaton's Batman will return by way of a multiverse storyline. It's the first time he's been seen in the role since 1992's Batman Returns. In a new interview with The Hollywood Reporter, and I pulled up this one instead of the Hollywood Reporter one, so I know, but it's fine. It spoke at length about his career and what led him to revisiting Bruce Wayne. The actor said he was impressed by the screenplay for The Flash, penned by Christina Hodson, along with the vision director Andy Muschietti has for the movie. Perhaps what intrigued him most of all was just the opportunity to have one more chance to shine in the role of Batman. As he revealed now, he's always thought he had another great performance as the Dark Knight left in him. He says, frankly, in the back of my head, I always thought, I bet I could go back and nail that mother effer. And so I thought, well, now that they're asking me, let me see if I can pull it off. I had to read it more than 3 times to go, wait, how does this work? Keaton added, noting that the multiverse elements took some explaining. By the way, I'm not being arrogant. I hope about this. I don't say it like I'm too groovy. I'm stupid. There's a lot of things I don't know about, and so I don't know. I just kind of figured it out. But this was different. And we just got this whole report about him, like, on the set, reprising the role of Vulture, that, like, they were trying to tell him about, how, like, he could be in the MCU and then also in the Morbius movie and everything. And he's reported as saying, like, I don't get all that. Like, I don't understand all that.
Is that in reference to Morbius or The Flash?
No, that was in reference to Morbius because the Sony people were trying to explain to him how he's in both the Sony universe in the Morbius movie, yet also in the MCU, and that it's all
basically
adjacent.
It's just like, it is what it is.
And he was like, I don't get this. But he said with the Flash movie, he got this. He said, this is not that. He says, so I don't know. I just kind of figured it out, but this was different. Because he was talking about, he's like, there's a lot of things I don't know about, but this was different. He says, on what's different about playing Batman now, Keaton also said, what's really interesting is, what's really interesting is how much more I got Batman when I went back and did him. I get this on a whole other level now. I totally respect it. I respect what people are trying to make. I never looked at it like, oh, this is just a silly thing. It was not a silly thing when I did Batman, but it has become a giant thing culturally. It's iconic. So I have even more respect for it because what do I know? This is a big deal in the world to people. You've got to honor that and be respectful of that. Even I go, Jesus, this is huge. And so then it just talks about who directs it and everything. So Michael Keaton is pretty excited to come back as Batman.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him come back. I mean, obviously, I would argue he's probably the biggest selling point for this movie. I don't know if you guys would agree on that, but I feel like he's obviously like the one thing I think even people are hesitant about the movie are excited to see. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing him come back. Obviously, I hope that they portray the character with some dignity and justice. Make sure it feels like a natural extension of what's come before in his previous outings, right?
I think it says a lot too that he may not have thought he nailed it the first 2 times out because both those movies weren't really so much about Bruce Wayne as they were the villain. So I can kind of understand now with the landscape changing with the storytelling in these movies, he might have recognized he's got more of a chance to shine as Bruce Wayne as a more important component of the story than kind of a background character as he was in the first 2 movies.
How bad is the mismanagement with WB that the selling point for a Flash movie is not the Flash?
Yeah,
that's a problem. I agree.
That is so pathetic.
Not just one Batman,
but 2 Batman.
2 Batman.
True.
They've mismanaged that character so badly over the past 7 years that
all anybody's talking about is the 2 Batman. Nobody's even talking about Flash.
Yeah, no one really is.
Make a Batman movie so I can talk about those Batman.
Real quick here, we'll hold that thought on Batman, but Galliette Productions, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate it so much. It says, big fans of John Watts' previous 2 Spider-Man films, and this trailer really shows how much he's grown as a blockbuster director. Definitely see why he's tapped to direct Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, yeah.
I'm in agreement with that. I think he's shown improvement as a director over the past, the clear differences between Homecoming and Far From Home from a directorial standpoint. Even this new film, I think, it looks very interesting. So I'm excited to see what he does with Fantastic Four, totally. So
as a big Fantastic Four fan, I do approve of John Watts. I think he'll do a good job.
Yeah, I hope
so, because Fantastic Four sucks, man. Like, we all knew it. Hulk sucked, Iron Man sucked, Fantastic Four sucked. Until these movies came out, those comics were worth nothing. We all know it. They were worth nothing.
There were some really good Fantastic Four comics.
Really good Fantastic Four comics. You better stop it.
Hey, you know what? The comics aren't worth that much more that the movies have come out. I'll be honest with you.
Pretty sure I have a bigger comic collection than all of you boys put together right now.
Yeah, but you don't make up. You don't represent the average. Probably not me, but you don't represent the average collector, though. I mean, there are 1%ers like us, you and me, but the majority, the vast majority of people buying comics, it's different because it's driven people to the comics, but it's also the amount of collectors, the hardcore guys, has migrated out, so it's kind of the same.
But by the way, I really think it's funny that in 2021, it's a flex to say I've got as an adult man that I've got more comic books than you. It just kind of reminds me of this one's for you, Tony. This one's for Galliette Productions for giving the super chat. Thank you, but this is also aimed at Tony.
Hey, teacher.
Thank you.
When are we actually going to use any of this?
You? Never.
I take that personally myself. Hey.
I take that personally. I don't know if we're friends anymore.
That's what Matt Jarbo said about me the first time he met me. He said, "Oh, this guy's a big old virgin. Look at all those toys." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm married with kids." Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, this guy F's. Oh crap, he's got all that stuff and he has sex." Oh, double up.
Gotta love it.
This is the point in my life where I can actually afford the comics I like now. That's all. That's it. Like, I wish I had an X-Men #1. I should have had one 5 years ago, and I made a mistake not spending $1,200 instead of $1,000. I'm an idiot. It'd be $10,000 right now. I'm stupid. But
no, look, John Watts. I think he's done fine with the first 2 Spider-Man movies. Given the story that Disney and Marvel have basically given us, I'm still waiting though for that genuine Spider-Man feeling movie that doesn't feel like it's just another part of the MCU. I would like a Spider-Man movie, and look, I don't have to get it. It's just something that I would like to see with Tom Holland, is a Spider-Man movie that just feels like a Spider-Man movie that's just a Spider-Man movie that's not necessarily part of this, part of the whole MCU and everything.
Agree with that.
Just kind of scale it down, bring it back down. But I'm afraid that because with all the crazy suits that he has and the AI and and all everything that they thrust him, they never let him. And this is where I really agreed with D'Al's take on this. If you think about it, they never really let him just be Spider-Man. They never let him build up to the world-saving events. You know what I mean? He was right out the gate, man. He was, from his first thing, man, he was in Civil War, and he's part of this, huge world right out the gate, and it's I don't know. I just wish that.
Well, a lot of that had to do with some of the mandates that Sony and Marvel agreed upon, though.
No, I know, but that's the problem.
And they had to rush him in. They had to rush him into rotation the way that DC was rushing to play catch up with everything Marvel did without giving the characters their standalone.
Well, it's also because they had 2 different scripts for Civil War, one without Spider-Man, one with them. So they filmed his stuff in Civil War pretty quickly. Again, ideally, I think they could have done things differently, but given the contractual obligations, the agreements that were made, and the fact that the filmmakers had to do things differently to make it stand out between everything else, I think it's worked out pretty well. And again, I
wanna see him
think
fight his classic
yeah.
foes.
Well, I
wanna
think
see
this
him fight
movie,
Daredevil,
yeah,
and the Human Torch.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
I
these
I
are
think
the
yeah.
early comics.
I think No Way
I wanna
Home
see
is
that.
going to position the character in a way where you guys are like really wanting him to be. I think it's ultimately the goal of the movie.
I hope so.
I just don't
Daredevil.
see Marvel telling a
Daredevil.
story without their clutter benefiting. It doesn't benefit them to tell a standalone Spider-Man story without all of that, because that's why they bought him in to be part of that. I think that's where Sony has to come in and do that. I think Sony at this point it's in their best
you
interest
say
to.
that for the team up movies. You don't have to put all of that in his standalone films. Like,
Yeah.
and even when he does, it doesn't feel like a huge impact to the MCU. He feels inconsequential still.
Well, this movie, I'd argue, definitely feels the most consequential. I mean, Doctor
yeah.
Strange. This is a direct lead-in to the biggest movie coming out next year in terms of Marvel movies, Doctor
Yeah.
Strange 2. So
Yeah,
Which
I
makes it
agree
not a
with that
Spider-Man
one.
movie for me. So
Well,
sort of makes it a Spider-Man movie, but in the same way, it's just another brick in their wall. You know, it's not a story that is Spider-Man figuring out things on his own, Spider-Man evolving on his own.
Well, I don't
Spider-Man
think
figuring
Doctor
out
Strange
ways
is going to
build-
be in this movie very much. I think he's going to be there at the beginning.
Well,
to
no,
set
because
the
it's not
plot.
Doctor Strange. It's Mephisto.
Hey,
Evil Doctor
listen,
Strange.
listen. You guys joke about that, but I'm
Yeah,
telling
it's gotta come
I'm telling
eventually.
you, something. Something's up.
It's like a broken clock is easy to write twice a day, but still, though, you don't need the very fact that any of these other characters are in Spider-Man's movies at this part of his development. To me, it doesn't help the narrative of the character. It helps the narrative of the MCU. But if you're, like I said, if you're Sony and you own this valuable IP, eventually you're going to want to tell stories your way.
Maybe
You
that's the
wanna
goal of the
represent
next
that IP.
trilogy, though, to be a
Well-
bit more standalone.
But to be blunt, though, isn't that not Marvel's problem? Like they're like, well, it serves the MCU. Who gives a rat's ass about?
That's what I
Spider-Man?
mean. That's why Sony should take it back. When
Well,
this
you guys-
contract expires, let Sony tell their stories with Tom Holland.
I
And
want
if
to
they want to
see.
use Spider-Man,
See, but here's the problem with that. The last time they did something by themselves, they
Can't
screwed it up
stand on their
massively.
own.
They
Yeah,
can't
but you're
stand
not.
on
You
their
know
own.
what? You don't. You
They
don't
need
become,
a guiding hand.
You
That's
don't
the
become
problem.
successful by that train of thought. If you think you can't do it, then you need to get the hell out of the office, or you're going to get fired anyway. So whatever they did wrong in the past, they're not thinking about that. A fighter pilot doesn't get in the cockpit based on some of the mistakes he made in the training scenario.
Somebody's
Right?
turning into a werewolf at somebody's house.
You know,
I came across a fascinating Doctor Strange theory just now. Doctor Strange is.
You liked that one, didn't you, RJ? Somebody turned into a werewolf. It was like American Werewolf in London at somebody's house, real quick there. Sorry.
The Canadian werewolf in Edmonton.
So here's the Doctor Strange theory. Doctor Strange is actually Loki in Spider-Man No Way Home. Loki wants to open the multiverse back up so he can find Sophie again. He disguises himself as Doctor Strange, and that's why he does something as reckless as try to cast a spell that would remove Peter Parker from everyone's memories, but really it was designed to allow him to travel the multiverse or whatever.
Get
This
back
is
to the right
somebody-
TVA.
Whoa. Anything else?
Yo, that's a solid theory.
Whoa.
This just came off of Reddit, guys, and fan theories. The fan theories subreddit.
I just
Wow.
Mind blown.
Boom.
Thank you for finding that.
Look at
That's
Jerry,
amazing.
man, flexing on that, man. Just like, bam. Just like,
You found the mother load right there.
Very nice.
wow.
It does explain Strange's very flippant attitude.
Can I just say real quick about Doctor Strange and his look in the movie? I love he's wearing the winter gear and he has the cape on and he has like that mug that says "Oh, for fuck's sake." Like, I don't know why his outfit in that movie is just
It explains that wink too, like that wink.
Okay,
That's a Loki thing.
That's a Loki thing. And trust
Loki
me,
thing.
Loki is my favorite MCU character.
Yeah,
hands down.
he's grown on me too.
Can I just say this real quick? I noticed this when we were watching it over on RJ stream when we were watching it. That it
Wait,
looks
you guys
like.
stream when you're not here?
Oh,
I know. I
Maybe.
know.
Wait,
It's
what?
weird.
What a
I
time.
thought,
way.
wait, hold on.
Possibly.
I thought Enosh owned all of us. We're all
Yeah.
owned by him. We're all part of his
thought-
network.
Exactly.
Yes,
I don't have
it's
any.
the Poindexter Network.
Exactly.
I got Matt Jarbo trying
You
to
guys
tell me
didn't
that I
get the
couldn't do-
memo? The meeting was
Yeah.
on Wednesday.
And I appreciate
fell
Matt
asleep.
Jarbo.
I slept through it.
I appreciate Matt. Matt's trying
I
to tell me
sang
that
America the Beautiful. It was-
Matt Jarbo's telling me that I shouldn't do my my toy reviews here on this channel. That I need to start a different channel because it's going to hurt my algorithm. So,
well,
no.
he cares.
I get it.
No, that is true. Though. Like, I guess
it is true.
Smaller videos aren't necessarily good.
I
for
know,
the
I
algorithm
know.
or something.
And you know what? If I was all about that, I don't know, that life, then I would probably get on that. But
all right, I'll get back to my point. But what I noticed in the trailer is how Doctor Strange looks like he had two different outfits on. Like one was blue and one was dark. That's what I was saying. It kind of shows that maybe there's something up with Doctor Strange. Maybe it's not Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me if in a post-credit scene they reveal that it wasn't even Doctor Strange the entire time.
Yeah, especially after that Reddit leak.
Agatha all along.
Because on the trailer, when he's battling Spider-Man on the train, he's wearing a darker black suit. But then in the scene where Spider-Man's holding the cube and he kind of does his separates Spider-Man from Tom Holland or Peter Parker, he's wearing kind of a blue astral.
Those could also be strangers from different multiverses that don't know this iteration of Peter.
Well,
that's another possibility. Think about that. If like Peter's going in all these multiverses, there's obviously potentially going to be other Doctor Stranges that might not realize that the Doctor Strange who opened up the multiverse is not really a Doctor Strange. It might be Loki, Mephisto, Agatha, or I don't know who else we would consider.
Well, it probably wouldn't be Agatha, because like how would she get out of like that?
That's
thing?
true. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what.
But given the fact that Multiverse of Madness follows this,
this is the direct lead-in. Yeah,
I cannot wait to see Wanda
so
back.
I think the whole idea of Loki or Mephisto, or maybe both. Let's not discount the fact that both might be manipulating things for their own agendas as it relates to this whole crazy multiverse.
Along with Wanda.
If you saw the end of the Loki series, does it really make sense for it to be Loki? Like, because he's already dealing with his other crap, unless you're talking about the other variants of Loki that may.
Well, not only that, but they're doing a season 2, though, right?
Well, when is when is No Way Home reopening?
Supposed
December
to be
17th, I think.
Yeah,
December. Okay, well, yeah, the other Loki series is not going to drop before then.
Yeah, December.
Yeah, this December.
Well, because like it was supposed to originally release as we all know, it's supposed to actually fully come out, but COVID stopped it all, so now it's being split into 2 seasons. So.
No. Well,
this is just a climax, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Here with Peter Rabbit's Defender. Thank you for another $4.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says about WB's panel at CinemaCon. What's the most excited trailers that you guys anticipated to see in online? Matt Reeves' The Batman or Matrix Resurrection?
Can I cheat and say both?
Can I cheat and say neither?
Matrix, even though I don't think it's going to be good, but Matrix, I want to see what they're doing.
Well, listen, they showed the trailer for Matrix Resurrections. The description of it sounded amazing. I'm not even going to front. It sounded incredible. I really want to see that online soon. They're still committed to December, by the way. It's not going to get delayed. They're going to keep it to December to be a day-and-date HBO Max movie too. So I can't wait for Matrix 4. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to Matrix 4 as well.
I haven't followed anything with it. Are they bringing? Is Keanu Reeves returning?
Yes, Keanu Reeves is back. Yes,
he died. But he died.
Why? Well, the idea of this is that it's very much a commentary on the idea of reboots.
Okay,
it's really like the description of the CinemaCon footage is already online. Like, go read it and check it out. It's really interesting. I liked it. I liked it.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the Matrix. I just saw a new Batman trailer. And I'm surprised nobody else has seen this. So when I went to go see Free Guy, there was a new Batman trailer with it.
Seriously?
Yes, with the one that I saw. My kids also went to go see Free Guy at a separate time, and they did not get that Batman trailer. So I don't know what that is, and I haven't heard of anybody else talking about the Batman trailer that I saw.
What was different?
You got to see him with the Batmobile. There was a lot more Batmobile in it. There was a lot more. Yeah, he's driving through the city. There's like more Batman in it.
This is Pattinson's Batman.
How is this not leaked online already?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what happened.
That tells you all you need to know about the ramp up. Because if people were truly, truly hyped, not us geeks in this upper atmosphere that we're in right now, if the general public were generally hyped about the Batman, that trailer's out there. That trailer's out there to be distributed.
Well, I'd
we
argue
just got
maybe
Spider-Man. We just got a crappy Spider-Man trailer leaked. I mean, not the one that the version that was leaked is all fuzzy and someone else's phone. We got that leaked within a day. But the Batman, a legit trailer that's in circulation, nobody's talking about.
Yeah, nobody's mentioned this, and like I've been waiting for 2 weeks, and nobody has even mentioned it.
There's your anticipation for the Batman.
I don't know. I still think people are. My thing is like it seems like there's a couple new shots, but not anything like groundbreaking, like reveal wise.
Have you seen it?
Oh no. There's what's in there that's so
okay.
big? Like,
all right, RJ, you haven't seen it. Thanks for being here.
I'm just saying, like, what was like such a big reveal that it was gonna like break the internet?
There's just a lot more footage.
There's a lot more footage. Like
the
with
Batmobile full, you get the full shot of the Batmobile. You get to hear certain things. It's more than you've gotten. But like I said, we've gotten.
Well, there's a whole scene of him chasing after the Penguin. The Penguin is.
Well, that was in the Fandom trailer, wasn't it?
No.
It was in the Fandom trailer.
There was literally a second of it, and that was it.
Yeah,
because Penguin is the guy. Because Penguin
it.
says that guy's crazy, and it cuts to the shot of him with the thugs and the release date and the title screen.
I'm just saying, I've never seen the trailer that I saw when I went to go see Free Guy, and it wasn't, it wasn't with all copies of the movie. It was
maybe that's why I didn't leak though, because like if it's like it's so many, like it's not in that many theaters playing it, because I kept waiting because people said, oh, there's a new Batman trailer for the Suicide Squad. Never saw it. I went to go see Free Guy, didn't see it.
What theater? Like, was it a different brand theater?
No, it was a Cinemark. It was a Cinemark.
Oh wow.
That's the one that's by me.
That probably was like a trailer editing mistake. If it didn't get out yet, that was probably happened like one time. That just happened to be at your showing, and it didn't happen anywhere else.
Yeah, but in order for it to get to the theaters,
because I worked at movie theaters, and I actually worked on editing trailers together before movies start, and I know how the process is. And there's sometimes trailer mistakes where we show something that they weren't supposed to. So maybe that was a mistake.
Well, not in the case of Warner Brothers. That almost never happens. When the theater gets the trailer in the Warner Brothers case, and we were talking about this tonight before for Candyman, because a lot of guys do promo for both. That is in circulation. Once they have it, it goes into general circulation first, and then the cinemas get it. So if that theater is on anybody's screen, it's in circulation somewhere. It's just they haven't pushed the circulation, which, like I said, for a movie like this, to like I said, you just had a crappy, a pirated version off of a set guy's trailer,
Richard,
stuck all over the internet, but you didn't have one that's actually been put in somebody's hands being distributed. To me, I mean, why isn't that being circulated? Enough people, someone has that trailer, and if the hype was there, I think it would be pushed already. If you can push a little crackerjack looking Spider-Man one that is horrible quality before the real one comes out, and how many people saw that? You knew that was out there, right?
Sure.
So I don't know. I mean,
let's see how well this, because obviously they're gonna release a new trailer during Fandom. Let's see how that performs.
Yeah.
That like has a drop off or something, then.
Yeah, we'll see. Galliot Productions here with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Says P.S. Congrats. You spelled my name right. I think you probably meant I said your name right. So, but
let's say he spelled it, didn't he?
Yeah, he spelled it. So, I'm glad that we got it right. Though.
Speaking of trailer leaks, did you guys see John Watt's post on Instagram?
No.
Okay, so you know how the trailer leaked, right? And it was someone filming someone's recording off of their phone of the trailer.
Yeah.
He did the same thing. He did that on Instagram where he recorded his cell phone of a recording of the trailer. And said, watching the trailer the way it was always intended. It was so funny. Like, look up that post when you get a chance. It's pretty funny.
Brian is owned by Sony on license to Enosh, and Enosh is licensed actually by H. Barts Incorporated. So there you go.
Yeah,
I do
have degrees of separation.
All these subsidies of different companies that just keep going right down.
That's what happens when you go bankrupt 20 years ago.
Without permission.
Speaking of going bankrupt, Enosh, I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Is G.I. Joe dead?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked that question, my friend.
Was it ever really alive?
Really? Because I'm scared. Your title and thumbnail kind of scared me a little.
Okay, I want to preface this. I want to preface this because we're about to reference a gentleman that is a dick, and I'm
in name only.
No, well, no, not really.
Oh no, what's going on?
Just.
What was that?
My goodness!
I just wanted to give you something to feel clean about before we actually read this, because
that was, I don't know if I felt clean after that one.
Well, it's
cleaner. Oh, it's Scotty Boy.
Yeah,
it's Scotty Boy Mendelsohn.
Yeah,
everyone's favorite Forbes writer who breaks down box office with no clear bias whatsoever.
Nope.
Oh, this might put
well,
me-
at least he hits the mark, right? All right, so but just bear with me, folks. Bear with me. I can feel the hatred,
disgust
already, and disgust. But yeah, okay.
Thank
so
you, Brian.
all right, so here we go. G.I. Joe. You all know how I feel about the Snake Eyes movie. If you don't know how I feel about the Snake Eyes movie, you could find my in-depth 50-minute review here on the channel.
Great review, by the way. I
Thank
watched
you.
that. It was a great review.
Thank you.
You could say the movie rolled a Snake Eyes.
Can I say something? Can I say something really quick that I hate?
Oh, Brian.
Come
Why
on,
is it that
damn
in so many of these bad? Why is it that in so many of these bad origin movies you don't see the hero and they're like the last shot of a movie is them in their costume or them doing something cool that you want to see the entire time? You only get in the last shot of the movie. Please stop
they
doing
don't want
that.
to cover the actor's
Please
face.
stop
That's
doing
why.
that.
They
That's
want to
so
show the
stupid.
actor's face.
Please stop doing that.
I agree integrity. I agree integrity, but I'm asking you to just bear with me on this one because I feel like this actually brings up an important.
He actually made a good point.
I think this brings up an important point. Okay, so let's look at this. The title is Snake Eyes failure means 3 strikes and you're out for G.I. Joe. It says Voodoo is reporting the Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins is leading this past week's VOD charts. Even if a quick glance at their site as of now, along with YouTube, Google, Amazon, and iTunes, implies that its reign was short-lived. The Paramount release earned just $28.14 million domestic and $36.84 million worldwide on an $88 million budget.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and look, that's total. That's total. But look, that's the world we live in right now.
True, but even by pandemic standards, could have done at least a little better. Like 90 million worldwide would have been nice.
Not this movie. Not this movie.
I know.
Never going to do $90 million. Okay. So anyways, the film's alleged 45-day window was cut short entirely by the obvious indifference to its theatrical experience. The Henry Golding-led origin story was always going to bomb both before COVID and certainly during a pandemic. That
you think
Paramount,
so? You think it would have bombed?
Absolutely. This movie
would
have crashed and burned because this movie sucked. Look, this movie just sucked. This movie wasn't good. It wasn't a good G.I. Joe movie. It wasn't a good ninja movie. It was just a bad film.
So you're saying the word of mouth would have killed this?
Even the word of mouth word of mouth would have destroyed this movie if it had been regular, even in a regular time. It says, but that Paramount moved Skydance HBO flick, or Hasbro flick, straight into the summer while delaying Tom Cruise's Top Gun Maverick to November 17th, told you what you needed to know about expectations and priorities. Regardless, Snake Eyes is the 3rd straight underperforming G.I. Joe movie, and this is what I was freaking worried about. Sorry, it pisses me off as a huge G.I. Joe fan. This pisses me off because this is not a G.I. Joe movie. Nothing about this movie.
It didn't honor the characters.
Watch my review. Okay, this is not a G.I. Joe movie. In any way was this a G.I. Joe movie? No. But of course, it's going to be branded that way, so we got to go with it. It says, meaning that it might be time to give up. I talk a lot about franchises that are kept metaphorically alive past their prime often despite audiences saying no thank you. That's doubly frustrating on a theatrical level, with theatrical moviegoing facing its biggest ever threat in the form of streaming and studios responding by rehashing franchises that nobody asked for and proclaiming those films as what you can only see in theaters. However, you can point to the once glorious run of the Terminator franchise. Even Rise of the Machines earned $433 million worldwide in summer 2003, when marketing was a lot cheaper and the DVD business was at its peak. Or the initial successes in the RoboCop, Predator, or Alien franchises as reasons to give them another try. But G.I. Joe is different in that we've had 3 big budget movies since 2009. Not a single one of them qualified as an unmitigated success. For the record, Stephen Sommers' G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra was and is painfully underrated. The initial reception was tarred by rumors of behind-the-scenes melodrama and Paramount's terrible choice not to screen the film for critics. Bullcrap. The Rise of Cobra is very much Sommers' remake. Was very much Sommers remakes the first X-Men movie with the sensibilities of the Mummy inside the G.I. Joe IP. Bullcrap. It's bright, colorful, playfully violent, and large enough in scope and scale to see where the money went. It offers a diverse collection of colorful heroes: Channing Tatum, Marlon Wayans, Rachel Nichols, etc., and the colorful baddies. Okay, I'm not even going to get into that. And who plays like a prototypical MCU movie before Thor and Captain America got folks comfortable.
I don't know about that.
No, I don't know about this either. This is all the bullcrap. Okay, so this
is basically like lamenting, like, oh, it's a good movie.
Yeah, imagine someone gave your childhood collection of G.I. Joe toys a $175 million budget, and that's a compliment. Bullcrap. That is not that movie at all.
No.
Even with lousy reviews, it opened at $54 million in early August 2009, partially because this was back when a mere idea of a mega budget action fantasy based on a kid property was still somewhat of an event. Still, $150 million domestic and $300 million worldwide does not a new franchise make, especially with poor reviews, and it's fine, whatever, word of mouth. After all, when you're franchise building, just making money or breaking even isn't enough, which is why we never got sequels to Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes or M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender. But in a world,
by the way,
I know. But in a world where IP-specific franchises were taking over, we still ended up with a sequel anyways. While fortunately keeping the continuity, the Jonathan Pierce's U.S. president is Arnold. Zartan in disguise, cliffhanger, blah blah blah. Here's the thing. I'm not going to get into this whole thing. Here's the point that I want to discuss, because it goes through every reason why this should have been fine. This is a promising not a white guy leading man was plugged into a doomed and unrequested relaunch of a commercially questionable IP. He's got this all wrong. This is not the reason why this movie failed. This is one that rebooted the continuity, thus alienating those who liked the first two. That's not why it failed. And spent
nobody cared. I mean, let's be honest.
Nobody cared if you rebooted this thing and spent the runtime on a story that would set up the Snake Eyes you know and love for the surely inevitable sequel. Bull crap. And here's the problem. Don't
folks. Waste an entire movie setting up a character that people want to see from the beginning.
Here's the thing. Hollywood, listen to me. If you make a movie called Snake Eyes Origins, tell Snake Eyes' origin story. Do not tell a story that happens before Snake Eyes' origin. That's dumb. That is not the story. You did not tell Snake Eyes' origin story. You told some other story that you just wanted to tell, hodgepodged a bunch of stuff together. You got one thing right, and that was Storm Shadow's original name was Tommy. You got it right that somehow Scarlet was in the mix somewhere in there. And that's it. That's it. I'm sick and tired of hearing people say over the last few weeks, well, nobody wants G.I. Joe anymore. Nobody cares about G.I. Joe. Nobody wants G.I. Joe. Nobody wants G.I. Joe. How the heck would we know? Because you haven't given us a freaking G.I. Joe movie yet.
You haven't done a proper adaptation.
You have not done a proper adaptation of G.I. Joe. You've given us a director's vision of what they wanted G.I. Joe to be. You gave us a sequel to that nobody asked for in that version. And then you gave us this absolute dog crap of a movie, which the thing that Nightstar sent me would fit for Snake Eyes. Absolutely. For those of you who want to know what it was, it's a lady taking a dump in a fast food restaurant.
No, not a dump. She was peeing because they wouldn't let her use the restroom.
Oh, I thought she was taking a dump.
No,
Well,
no,
it's
no,
the
no,
same
no.
thing.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
But it's like the stormtrooper in the urinal.
I am so sick of this.
It's sad that a bad movie like this might have screwed everything up.
Stop blaming the IP. It's not the IP. We wouldn't know if anybody would like a G.I. Joe movie because nobody's made us a freaking G.I. Joe movie. Nothing has been half even recognizable as a G.I. Joe movie. I walked into my theater this last week to go see Free Man, and when I Free Guy, and when I walked in, I said to the theater manager, I said, "Hey man, can you do me a favor? Can you somehow destroy every copy of Snake Eyes that you have? Like accidentally just delete them?" And he laughed and chuckled. He goes, "Yeah, it was really bad." This guy working behind the counter there, like selling tickets, says, "What are you talking about, man? It followed his story like right on point, man. Exactly."
What?
And I looked at him and I said, "Excuse me?" And like literally this guy started arguing with me so much that the managers just said, "Hey man, you need to go back to your station and sell tickets."
This is what they call reimagining now. This is what the movies that they call the reimaginings. They have no respect to the source material.
I looked up at the poster of Snake Eyes, up on the big billboard poster thing, that they had up
where's
there.
the costume? Doesn't wear the last shot
where he's
of the
in the
movie?
costume and he looks like Snake Eyes, and I said, "You know what? That's a
lie.
lie. That's a lie."
Yes,
also advertising.
5 seconds of the movie.
Bait and switch.
How would you know that people want a Snake Eyes movie if you don't put Snake Eyes in the movie? Just because you call a guy Snake Eyes doesn't make him Snake Eyes. Come on. I can make a whole movie about Jerry and call him Lex Luthor at the very end, and you know what? It doesn't make that a Lex Luthor movie, does it?
It's a Jerry movie.
It's a Jerry movie.
Yeah.
Okay? That was a Harry Golding movie. That's all it was. Nobody, you can call him Snake Eyes all day long. It's not a Snake Eyes movie. It is a ninja movie that's not even that good of a ninja movie.
Nope.
So,
Is your blood pressure medication close?
So I'm just saying, here's the thing. Here's the problem. Because Scott is right on one point, and here it is. They've taken 3 swings at it. The problem is they were dumb swings. They literally sent their worst player up to bat. They literally took their good player out. It's like they took their cleanup hitter out, and they put like a pitcher in that hasn't hit in 10 years since college, and said, "Hey, that should be a good idea." And then when that guy strikes out, then they sit back and go, "Well, you know what? This team isn't very good.
Scrap the whole thing.
Let's scrap the whole.
We're getting out of here."
Sounds like Warner Brothers.
Yeah, you're making the Michael Bay Transformers movies look faithful.
Jordan, I wish I could. I wish I could produce a G.I. Joe movie. It's not hard. It is not hard to produce films based on these properties.
Well, I'd say this, maybe on a bright side. Do you think maybe if Paramount goes, okay, G.I. Joe, even though it's stupid, I agree. They say, okay, Snake Eyes doesn't work theatrically. Would you be open to them doing a proper adaptation of G.I. Joe via streaming, like a streaming series, live action?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just saying, do you think like if they did
We have the time to develop it. We have the time to develop it and give it.
Literally, I would take anything at this point that's true to the source.
Because I think that might be what they're doing. Instead of movies, they'll do like streaming shows. I think that's what they're going to do.
Well, I'm just saying, like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And the fact of the matter is yes,
we shouldn't be in a position like this.
Now they've taken 3 swings at it, but it's like they just went up and like threw the bat at it. It's like they sent it like a 5-year-old up there to a major league pitcher who's throwing 100 miles an hour heat, and like this kid's just sitting there going like, well, I don't even know what to do with this thing, and like it's just absolutely sad.
All right.
And I'm pissed off. And Peter Rabbit's Defender here with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Peter Rabbit's Defender. Appreciate you, man. Says, just saw Snake Eyes. It's one of the biggest insulted movies ever. Yes. And I felt bad for Henry Golding and Samara Weaving. Retaliation is still the best G.I. Joe movie. You're not wrong. Okay. You're not wrong. Sorry, DL. It was nice having you here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, Retaliation. Look, at least Retaliation looks like a GI Joe. It has the shell of what a GI Joe movie. It's got Cobra trying to take over the United States. You got the banners. You got a Cobra commander actually in an outfit. You got the characters, but you don't have any GI Joes in it.
Yeah, sure. It got the skeleton and the skin, but it has no organs of the
The
GI
first
Joe.
movie, the first movie had GI Joes in it, but no Cobras. The second movie had Cobras, but no GI Joes in it because it had The Rock. Because apparently The Rock can be every GI Joe.
I don't understand how you mess it up like that. I don't.
What is going
It's the
on
suits.
right
It's
now?
the executives at the studios second guessing the creatives or hiring people that have no concept of the source material because they're like the
Or
directorial flavor of the week or both. Yeah. Unfortunately, look, this is what we've seen at Warner Brothers with how they've mismanaged the DCEU, right? So, I mean, it's the same kind of stupidity.
The Michael Bay Transformers movies, the same studio that GI Joe is doing. What is wrong with these people?
Well, allow me to be devil's advocate. Maybe, just maybe, they underestimated the popularity of the 80s IP that they chose to mine.
That okay, but that's my whole argument here, Brian.
Here's my point.
I know what you're saying, but that's what Scott's saying in this is that nobody wanted a GI Joe movie to begin with.
I
that,
don't.
Like that. Okay,
Then don't make it. Then don't make it.
Here's what I'm saying. I have not seen a lick of a GI Joe movie. I watched the cartoon as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It was just not my thing. Like I was more into Star Trek, so like I'm more excited about that kind of a movie.
That's
so when
fine,
they came out with
but if you make a GI Joe, but see, here's the thing too. If
same thing with Transformers for me too.
But Brian, if a GI Joe movie came out though that was true to the concept and like it did well and it was popular and like the fans showed up and everybody like
and it got general audience.
Because there are plenty of fans. Trust me, dude. Like I'm seriously like I'm spending out cash like trying to track down GI Joe classified 6-inch figures that they just put out and everything. Because there's still people who are absolutely into it. But what I'm saying is if you saw, Brian, as somebody who maybe, wasn't into it, but if you saw that like this movie's making money, people are going to see this film, maybe, and we're all talking about it, you might go, well, I'm going to go check it out.
That would be one thing. But I mean, before I met any of you guys, 3 or 4 of those movies had come out by then. I mean, like I just said, I was never interested in them. It's like the Fast and the Furious movies. I don't care. I look at those movies like Fast and the Furious with swords.
Yeah, it was very personal to Enosh, though, so that's why it stings.
I mean, I got a room full of this stuff.
Oh
man,
no, I get it.
And
it's a very treasured, IP.
I just don't, and that's the thing is like it is a treasured IP. It's an important IP, and I get that changes have to be made, right? Because because like look, but they've always reinvented GI Joe. GI Joe started in the 60s with the big, figures and the kung fu grip, right? And and the felt beards and and everything. And then in the 80s they revamped it and they gave it a story between GI Joe and Cobra, and that lasted all throughout the 90s into the early 2000s. But the thing is that I get it, changes need to be made, but like when you watch these films, these GI Joe films, and you just go, what the heck is this? Like this is not even a good film. Like even if you made changes and you were like, hey, we slapped the name GI Joe on this this war movie or whatever, you know what I mean? But like they're not even making a good film of it. Ryan Rivera says I watched Snake Eyes last night and stopped it after an hour in. Yeah, I get it, man. Like I've seen a lot of people saying like I stopped it when they did the magic box trick. When like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow are in the box truck, and then all these like all these like ninjas come out from nowhere, and they all have blades, and they all stick them through, like they're putting them through the roof, and they're putting them through the windshield, they're putting them through the side window and through the door and everything, and there's like 1 million blades coming into the box truck. Not one touches them.
Oh wait, actually no, because Snake Eyes got caught on his side, and that was
yeah, that's right. Oh yeah. So such a horrible I don't know. It just but yeah, why can't we Why
It's
can't
kind
we
of
just
like when, like, to relate it back to Brian a little bit, because it's similar with the Paramount when people were complaining about the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies and saying it doesn't feel like Star Trek. It's like it's a similar thing with that, with the GI Joe fans and these movies. It's like, is it that hard to actually feel like the source material, to actually know about the characters? Do any of these directors really like G.I. Joe?
That's a fair point when you bring up JJ Star Trek reimagining, because as much as it was well received by all audiences, I remember when it came out, Star Trek fans were like, "What the hell is this?"
And the bad part was that was a corporate decision.
Yeah,
too.
and they were reinventing it for wider audiences because the original cast was getting older, and they had to figure out how to retool it.
Yeah.
No, it made sense, but they were also constrained by like properties being split. Like, the Paramount owned the movies, but CBS owned the television, so they had.
Yeah. They basically had to figure out a way to
to make it work. And it was like
Yeah.
some weird 70% likeness or something along those lines, and it made things very difficult. It was also like that with the first couple seasons of Discovery as well. They hadn't quite hammered out the details as far as bringing everything under one roof again, which is nice that they did now. That we have Picard and Lower Decks and stuff like that. But no, so to talk on Star Trek, that's been like that since The Next Generation came out.
Yeah,
and Gene Roddenberry had his hands on it. Just the detractors. This isn't what Gene Roddenberry's true vision was, and it's like, no, this isn't Kirk and Spock.
Here's what we're gonna do. The last GI Joe thing that came out that was really, really good was GI Joe Resolute. It was an animated movie.
The one with Sergeant Slaughter.
No,
right?
no, Sergeant Slaughter's
okay.
not even in it. No, it was a sequel. It was an animated sequel to what had come out in the 80s. So it retained that look, but it was more gritty and real, kind of like what Sky Monk is talking about here, right? That to do like that. And so in the first 10 minutes, you knew it was different because even though all of the figures still had their outfits and everything like they did in the old thing, the animation was grittier. Right, it almost had an anime kind of look feel to it, and not only that, but it was darker. And Cobra Commander dropped a bomb in the middle of Moscow and killed 9 million people. And that's when you knew. That's when you knew the stakes were high for this.
And they were treating
movie.
it seriously.
And they were treating it seriously, and it was like, whoa. And I mean, they got the Snake Eyes Storm Shadow thing right. They got all the elements of all those characters right. You got to see all the characters that you grew up loving, but it was treated seriously. We're gonna do a watch party. Screw it. We're gonna do a watch party.
When? Because I want to watch this. I've never seen it either.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to wait back till I'm back from Chicago. But we're gonna because I leave on Saturday after my band plays. My band's playing. We've got a road race here. Like a run thing called the Crim, and we played there for the last 10 years. We didn't get to play there last year because it got canceled, and so it's always awesome. It's like 15 to 20,000 people and just running, man, and we're just playing, man, and we're just jamming.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'm gonna have to pull up because I'm not too far away from Chicago.
Yeah,
when do you arrive in Chicago, and how long will you be here?
So we're gonna be there Saturday night, and we're gonna be there until Friday morning, because Friday morning we'll be pulling out.
Cool, that's a good stretch.
We're going to a Cubs game on Thursday because I've always wanted to go to a Cubs game. I've always wanted to go to Wrigley Field, so we're going.
So you're on like a full blown vacation.
So Enosh, have you when you've been to Chicago in the past?
Yeah.
Have you had the opportunity to visit the locations from the Dark Knight movies?
No, I have not.
I'm going to give you that tour,
dude.
I promise.
That's pretty sweet.
You make the evening, and I will take you to all the locations that were used in the film.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it'll be my pleasure.
Yeah, man, that sounds like fun.
You just got to drive around with that Hans Zimmer score.
Dude, I've got the bat symbol on the front grille of my Jeep. And anytime I go on Lower Walker Drive, I'm blasting the Batman theme because that shot all that stuff.
That's awesome. And Enosh will probably also be like, when he comes back, he's just kind of like tons of CM Punk stuff. All the toys on the merch.
Well, that's one of the things we got planned this time is so my son Landon, my son Landon went to Chicago a few years ago, and his mom, for some reason, wants him to be gluten intolerant. He's not. I don't know any other because somebody said deep dish pizza. Yes. So the thing is his aunt who's like really kind of hippie-ish, right? Like it's her and her husband. Her husband's named David, but he goes by Sasha. It's not like
I love hippies. I miss
it's
it.
just a hippie thing. Like he's a dude, like he's not. It's not that. It's just he like the name Sasha.
Been there, dude. I met a dude named An.
They're just a little weird. Like one year she gave everybody braided bread for Christmas, and it wasn't like, hey, just like I baked some bread for you. It's just like, hey, I picked up some braided bread for you. I was like, okay. All right. We once gave her we did the white elephant thing, and she got the gag gift, and she acted like she was like really super thankful because she didn't get the joke. So I don't know, but they took Landon to Chicago, and they went for deep dish pizza and would not allow Landon to have pizza.
Oh my God, that's a crime. You can't stop someone coming to Chicago from having deep dish pizza.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like,
and I know some of the better, and I know Giordano's is great, Lou Malnati's is great. Just let me know when you've got the evening, and we'll do all this stuff.
Yeah, look, we're the thing is that Landon, when he was younger, when he was a little kid, he had some problems with constipation and stuff, but he was never allergic to gluten, and for some reason his mom thinks he's allergic to gluten. He eats normal when he's at my house, and he's absolutely fine. But then his mom won't let him eat anything because she's like bound to determine he's like that he is. But so they let him go to Chicago, and then he was not allowed to eat pizza. So guess what? Landon's going to have some deep dish pizza this time.
I will take you guys to the right places.
And so we got that, and we're going to the Cubs game. Tiffany's got like a bunch of stuff mapped out as far as like toy stores and comic book places and that kind of stuff.
So there's one. Make sure there's one on our list. It's called Quake, and it's on Lincoln Avenue. It's a retro toy store. Ooh. If it's not on her list, it's easy to find, and I think they're still open even during the pandemic. So.
Okay. Well, I will definitely. I'll make a note of that right now. But yeah, so she's got all that, and then like we're also going to go to like a couple of museums or whatever, and we're gonna do that thing, and and I want to see the Bean. I've been to Chicago many times, but I've never seen the Bean. So we're gonna do that, and but yeah, man. Yeah.
If only All Out was around the same time you were going.
What's that?
If only All Out was happening around the same time.
I know. If you would have just September 5th is when All Out's happening.
I know,
it's already
man.
sold out though, so it wasn't like he's gonna be.
I know. I know. But but the thing is that we're gonna have a good time, man. And
sounds like a lot of fun.
We're gonna see Night Star, and it's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna live it up, man, for those few days, and and I know one day she wants to do a like a beach day. Hopefully it doesn't rain the whole time we're there. It's raining right now.
Beaches are still open.
Yeah. So we're gonna do our thing, but yeah, like look, when it comes to G.I. Joe, folks, any IP. I'm really sick of seeing people just make whatever they want to make instead of. I get it. It's not going to be the 80s cartoon. Okay. I understand that. But
it's not fair to the fans because like
treat it with some respect.
Yeah. It's not fair to the fans that like you guys are like missing out on like what could be a great franchise because of bad movies. Like it's not fair. Like,
well, and here's the thing. And I'll say this even because I saw the comment. Like Brian said it, like Sky Monk said it. Like I get it. Like so you know what? If they put out a movie that's true, that's actually G.I. Joe,
and it's good,
right? And it's good, and it fails.
Then I'll sing a different song. I mean,
but no, I'm saying like if they put that out, right?
It doesn't do good,
and it fails. Maybe I love it. Right? I absolutely love it. I'm sitting here like on Poindexter Lounge just coming to you guys just going, oh my God, did you see the new G.I. Joe movie? It's absolutely fantastic. It's everything I ever wanted it to be. It's everything I ever desired in a G.I. Joe movie. Oh my gosh, it just makes me just so happy and giddy from all within, right? And it flunks with the public in general. Then fine. Then you've showed me there that, you know what? It's just an IP that maybe is never going to flourish nowadays. But until you show me that movie or that series or that thing where you actually respect it, we'll never know. because they keep trying to do their own thing instead of making G.I. Joe what it should be. And, you know, I know DL's watched a lot of G.I. Joe here in the last couple months.
Yeah, quite a bit.
He's got did you watch G.I. Joe Resolute?
No, I had a hard time finding it actually.
Okay.
So
I've got it on DVD.
Yeah.
So
if we do a watch
so
party,
I
I'm
can
gonna
do the
watch
DVD.
it. Yeah.
So I can play the DVD and we can watch it on Twitch and whatnot. So
I'll definitely be there if you do that. So
yeah, so we'll definitely do that. But yeah, G.I. Joe Resolute is such a good movie. It's such a good movie, and and I don't understand. Like, and everybody says the same thing. Everyone who's a fan of G.I. Joe says the same thing. There's your template. There's literally your template. Like, they did an animated version of it. There is your template. Just do that. Do that. And everybody would be happy. And they haven't done it yet. And so, so it's rough. But my concern, though, is that for once, I think Scott Mendelson may be right when he says, look, they've given this 3 shots theatrically. They ain't going to do it again. They're not going to put money behind another Snake Eyes movie.
So, Enosh, look at it this way, though. If they did the 3 strikes, they're out theatrically, there is an incredible landscape for that property to explore if it's done well on streaming.
Yes.
And that could go infinitely. So maybe this is kind of like a blessing in disguise, hopefully. Maybe it will be developed as a streaming show that has the time to give it the attention and the authenticity that it needs.
And that could very well be. And that's my hope. Right, that's my hope and my prayer.
And maybe all of this will lead to something good.
That maybe it'll lead something to good, But my concern is like when I run into people like that guy who works at my movie theater, and he's like, "It was so faithful to the original," and I'm like, "Dude, it was the exact opposite." Everyone knows that. Like, it was the exact opposite.
I wonder if he actually saw the original, if he was just talking out of his ass.
Well, that's what I think he was.
Conversation.
I don't think the guy would have known I take that back because the guy actually was talking about Snake Eyes and Stalker and Scarlet and all that stuff, and I was just like, well, yeah, Scarlet's in it, but Stalker ain't in it, and I don't care that okay, so they got Storm Shadow's name right, that his name was Tommy. It doesn't resemble that at all. The original story was Snake Eyes was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy, and okay, I get it. There's people who are sick of hearing about the race swap thing. Okay, but I'm just telling you what it is. It was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy who fought in Vietnam, and the thing was that there was stuff that happened. He saved Tommy out of that, but that's the comic version of what
it's interesting how different his perception of it was from your perception, given you both were familiar with the original source material. It is interesting, I think, in that how he could perceive it differently as being authentic while you're looking at other things. And I mean, that's all the whole argument about everything is subjective. Not that I'm dismissing,
No, I know.
Your take is probably more, what you want to see is something more authentic to your experience.
Well, there's a couple of splits on this. So there's kids who grew up with the comic books, and actually I'm going back right now and I'm reading the original comic book run all the way through online of G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero. You can find it online, and it's what a lot, because the comics started before the animated series, right? And
Do they have the same designs? Were they the same?
Yes, basically, but they weren't so kid friendly like the cartoon ended up being, right?
Was it a Marvel comic book?
Yep, It was a Marvel comic.
Because Marvel had licenses with I think Transformers or Shogun Warriors, Micronauts. They were doing all the comic series based off of the toys.
Yeah, and so so I'm reading that right now, and it was very much rooted and grounded in realism. Okay, what that original comic was. And so I'm going back to read that to see anything that I missed of that original comic. I mean, it's going to take me a while to get through it because it's a long stretch, okay, of G.I. Joe comics. But then they started the cartoon, and here's the thing. So I was one of the kids who came in on the cartoon when I was a kid. Okay, so I didn't know about all the comic book stuff until much later. And so there's a split. There's people who grew up with the comic and they feel that is the pure G.I. Joe story. and then there's people who grew up with the cartoon, and like that was theirs, right? I would love a hybrid of the two to satisfy everybody, because I think you could do it. It's not that far off, because there was a lot of storylines that were like all the major storylines except for G.I. Joe the movie, DL with Cobra Law and all that stuff. That was never in the comics. That was never in the comics.
Help me to follow. What was the timeline? Did the cartoon precede the comic book or vice versa?
No, the comic book preceded the
cartoon.
The cartoon. Yes.
And when did the toys come out?
Toys started coming out in 82.
Well, would that have been after the cartoon and the because honestly I wasn't I have no dog in this fight because I didn't watch G.I. Joe or read the comics. Yeah. I'm just curious to know if the cartoon show was broadcast and created to sell the toys.
Yeah.
And if so the toys came out with the cartoons, but the comic books preceded the cartoons.
So the original G.I. Joe toys were based on the even the commercials for those original toys. The commercials had parts of the comic books before the cartoon ever came out.
So they were working probably like with each other at some kind of release.
And
these weren't like the old G.I. Joe Army figures I remember in the 70s where they were actually guys in fatigues and stuff.
No,
these are the more stylized, cartoonish characters.
Yeah, so the original figures that came out looked more just like army men. Right, they had they had like fatigues, and they had but I'm talking about the small ones. The
small ones came out around the time that the Star Wars toy line
why they did it.
Exactly, there was like the whole genesis. Like, this is the future of toys. We've got to miniaturize the characters,
and then also oil.
Reimagined.
Oil played a huge role in how they shrunk down action figures from being the big 12-inch, things, like Migos and like the 8 to 12-inch figures, where like you had Migos and Barbies and GI Joe and stuff like that, and they shrunk them down to that size because of oil, because to make plastic it was much more expensive to do, and that's why we got the smaller figures. But that's why they wanted to reinvent GI Joe that way, because Star Wars was so popular in that 3 3/4 scale that it made more sense to do that, so they could make these stylized figures but yet make them cheaper.
I wonder if there are people that are pissed off that G.I. Joe was reimagined into the format that you liked, as opposed to the original G.I. Joes and the fatigues that were more 60s and 70s, more realistic, pretty characters. Yeah.
Well, and there wasn't a story based around that.
No, there wasn't. No, there wasn't. It was
just an army guy. It was just an army guy. And so. There's definitely been incarnations of it, and it's different.
This sounds very similar to Ninja Turtles.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I feel very particular to the Ninja Turtles. So it's like, for me, it's like if they were to remake another Ninja Turtles movie that I disagreed with, like, Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles was okay, I suppose, but.
I'm still waiting for the comic, a comic version for the movies, like the black and white. I'm still waiting for that version. We still haven't got that. What's going on? Keep getting the cowabunga pizza eating. Yo, totally red, dude. Like, how many times are we gonna do that?
Oh man,
I tell you what, man. Just kids, but come on now.
Look. I love that original comic book run, but also I grew up with the pizza loving cartoon things, and I love it. And look, we just watched, the 1991 or the 1990 film.
That movie's got grit. That movie's got grit. A lot of it. Like,
but when you get to the Michael Bay stuff, this is how I feel.
What? That was disturbing. That was disturbing. Please, for the love of God, don't play that.
I don't want to see anal beads on the Poindexter Lounge.
That was disturbing.
That is a very broad assumption to make there, sir.
Like looking at you guys' faces when I just drop that on you. Like you're like saggy.
I just say I don't want to see. I don't want to see anal beads on the Poindexter Lounge. Okay,
that was not anal.
Wait, how does saggy know what anal beads look like?
I was gonna say, how does RJ know? He's the one that keeps saying it.
I just want to move past.
Sir?
RJ's a freak.
Don't ask questions you're not prepared to
Oh,
learn the
stop,
answers to.
stop.
Bro, you're assaulting my senses right now.
Shit
my pants.
I'm too tired for this.
I hate these big ass prices.
Ah, shit.
Oh man.
Sorry, Saggy. I didn't mean to kink shame you.
It's okay to have kinks.
Oh man.
Anyways, would you rather be smart and beautiful or dumb and ugly? Dumb and ugly. No, wait! Smart and beautiful! Wait, I didn't understand the question.
Well, if you would understand the question, maybe you wouldn't have needed to answer.
I want it in my stomach. I want it in me, not on me.
Whoa!
Not that bad in there. It's it's constricting.
The saggy reel.
Please stop.
What's saggy? It's the saggy supercut.
It's the saggy supercut, man.
Oh, Saggy, we love Saggy.
I love Saggy.
She's great.
I can still call Enosh out for eating the meat. And he'd look at, well, you ate the meat too. Okay, but that still doesn't negate the fact you also ate the freaking meat.
And now you both have food poisoning.
I blame the Poindexter Lounge 100%.
Sags, no. No.
No, it's Saggy.
Are you looking at the chat? No,
Saggy, please.
Yes, we're all looking at the chat.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, Saggy. What the?
She's talking about having babies with Brian. Now she's singing this. It's like, what's going on?
I think it's
Listen,
that's the other end of Kermit.
9 months.
That's the other end of Kermit, right there.
No, Saggy.
I guess the pull-out game was a little too strong.
Hey,
there.
my nephews are cute, dude. I imagine we'll have some good looking kids. No worries.
So, Kermit, are you and Miss Piggy still an item?
Oh, yeah, she's the love of my life.
That's adorable. What the?
Ginger, no!
H parts died? H parts what?
Oh
I'm gonna have to tell my girlfriend I need a break for a couple of days, from the sex, because like I'm getting assaulted from all senses from Enosh's drops. Like I'm really
After 9 months,
you're getting assaulted.
That poor table. It never had a. You never saw it coming.
Poor table.
Dude. That ring should have got out of the way.
Oh my, yo, what is going on, man? Oh man.
Good sign because there's nothing wrong.
Enosh was watching Botchamania.
We've officially hit that hour of the show.
Ravage me, you rambunctious steed.
Well, it is the third hour of the show, and yes, anything can happen.
Well, we also have the RJ reel.
Well, you can't go wrong with a good cream pie.
No, you can't.
Important safety tip. Thank you, Egon.
There's nothing wrong.
I never knew you had it in you, RJ. Speak dirty. Never knew it had.
Anyways, so
no
that's
pun intended.
Yeah, that's all I got for tonight, folks. Yeah, we're at the 2.5 hour mark.
Gets a little
hopefully DL recovers.
I
don't
woke
know,
up
man.
real quick. I was falling asleep, and then I woke up real quick.
They got classes, DL. It'll work itself out.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think Saggy, now that I think about it, we actually have footage of Kermit after those are removed.
Poor frog.
Oh my gosh.
Just let out a blood curdling scream. What is going on, man?
Ooh. Sorry, I got a person in my throat there.
What, y'all never have been down to the creek? Giggy some frogs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they scream like the Dickens.
Oh, they scream pretty nice.
Well, you know where Kermit really loves to eat?
All over town, people are talking about the lunch trench. It's the ditch where you can eat your food.
Oh, yeah.
There's an oldie but a goodie.
I was thinking about blowing up a toaster, but
yeah, it wasn't. That's
Tyler
an
doesn't
oldie.
like that one, so we'll just keep it on the down low.
Well, we can always blow up a toaster for Brian.
I've been thinking about blowing up my toaster, but then I would make my bread hot and hard at the same time.
It's because he says hot and hard at the same time. I'm telling you.
Just liking to tease everybody a little bit, just tickling it a little bit.
It doesn't end. It doesn't end.
No. We got a little something for everybody.
You really are wonderful.
Listen, I am not nice, I am not kind, and I am not wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right, guys.
Hey,
well,
my
hey,
kids watch this.
Hey, my kids watch this. That's funny. All right, so let's go around the. Sorry. Enosh ending early so he can assume the secret identity of the Lick Master.
That's what heroes do.
The Cobra. La 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 la. All right, Brian, tell them where they can find you, sir.
Well, you can find me on my channel, Brian, Master of None. I'm in the middle of doing some stuff. I went to record a video last week of last week's episode. I suited up in my uniform for Star Trek, and didn't check what the microphone settings were, and I did like 10 minutes with silence.
Sorry.
My laziness is.
You're an ass.
Yes. Why, yes, I am. My problem is I've got like 4 different things that are like different inputs for microphones on my computer now. So it's like, if I'm not paying attention, yeah. That. But anyways, that's where you can find me.
Jerry Nightstar, where can we find you, sir?
Nightstar. You can find me at Nightstar, spelled like my name there, Nightstar Productions on YouTube. And I also host the show Chicago Corner, which is also on YouTube. And if all of you could do me a favor when the broadcast is over with, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on Chicago Corner. And even if you don't live in Chicago or don't find that you necessarily watch Chicago news that often, if you could just go over to the page and subscribe, it would help us get up to 1,000 subscribers. I think we're almost at 900 right now. And then we could finally get monetized to help some of our streaming costs. So it's really easy to find. Just search Chicago Corner. And if you're from Chicago or around Chicago, we cover a lot of interesting stories regarding politics, news, arts, personalities, cultural events. We have a pretty eclectic lineup of stories that we cover. And we also encourage people to join us in the live chat to participate in our broadcasts. So that's Chicago Corner. If you guys could subscribe to it, it'd greatly help us out. I appreciate it.
For sure. All right, RJ.
Sure. If you want to follow me, Resident Justice, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, I'm putting a link in the chat to my latest video. It's a video breaking down the story behind the Spider-Man link. So if you're interested in checking that out, go and check it out. And goodbye, everybody. There you go, Hand. He says bye.
Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Can't go wrong with you, Shark.
That was a great scene in The Last Jedi.
Wasn't
what
it?
anybody says. I think that was the highlight of The Last Jedi, not to interrupt things or throw us into another detour here. I think all the stuff with Luke and Last Jedi was the best part of the movies. It had other problems, but I think that stuff with Luke and Kylo was pretty cool.
I think so too. D. Al, want to tell everybody where they can find you, sir?
But y'all can find me on the YouTubes at DL Vince, exactly how it's spelled down here. I talk about movies and shows and everything in the nerd and geek culture, including Marvel and DC, and I do Disney reviews with my girlfriend. I'm pretty soon trying to get back to talking to Star Wars because I haven't talked about the Bad Batch yet, so I'm gonna get my Star Wars panel to talk about that.
Good show, man.
And then
And DL, I just subscribed to you, and I'm looking really forward after the show's over with to watch your Spider-Man trailer video. I was intrigued when you talked about it. Now I've got it queued up, and I've got it ready to watch when we go off the air.
Sweet. So yeah, if you want to hear my controversial take on the Spider-Man No Way Home teaser, go ahead and check out that on my
I'm
channel.
looking forward to it.
And then I'm also trying to get back to the James Bond reviews because I meant to review every James Bond film leading up to No Time to Die. So I'm trying to get that up, and then Suicide Squad and other Marvel stuff like Loki and pretty soon Shang-Chi. So a bunch of stuff I'm trying to get to the channel real soon. So go ahead and tune into my channel if you want to hear my takes on things.
I started rewatching the James Bond movies, and a lot of them do not hold up well.
No.
Really, really bad. And even in the time they were what were they thinking back then? But I like controversy, so I'm looking forward to your No Way Home teaser trailer commentary.
Yeah.
And Black Ops, where can people find you, sir?
Well, as you can see my name right there, you can find me on Twitch at BlackOpsJB, and then on YouTube, I am BlackOpsJB01, and I post my highlights. I edit my highlights from a stream. I'll be posting a highlight soon because I tested a bunch of different settings and stuff for Warzone, and I do a lot of gameplay stuff. But yeah, I posted it in the chat as well. So yeah, we just hit 100 followers on Twitch, and we've been doing it for a little over a month, so it's been fun. It's been fun.
Sweet. And here, Peter Rabbit's Defender with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Getting that in there. Says, I'm okay with Asian snake eyes, but when you got the origin wrong, everything will go wrong. No reason to wasted Baroness and Scarlet in this. Absolutely. Andrew Koji is the true saving grace. That is great acting. You know, and that's things like there were a couple of bright spots in there, but it was just so the movie. I agree, Peter Rabbit's Defender. It was so overwhelmed with just nonsense that was not.
You had good actors. That's the sad part.
Yeah, I mean, Henry Golding is a he's a
fine actor.
He's a fine actor. You know,
Andrew Koji, Samara Weaving,
and really, let's be honest. If you do a real Snake Eyes movie, it doesn't matter who's in the helmet, right? It doesn't matter who's in the helmet, but like you say here, when everything around it is just wrong, you're insulting the people who have made this IP what it is, and you're not going to win new people over. That's what I don't understand. Like when I see these movies and like even properties, even TV shows and different things that absolutely disrespect the actual IP, and it's X-Men. Like, who do you think you're winning over? Because you're not winning over. You're not going to win over enough new people with your new take on it. Like it's obviously been popular for a reason, right? So wouldn't you want to give something that looks similar to that at least to like keep the people that you have, and then bring new fans in? You know, I don't know, man. It
makes too much sense, Enosh.
I know.
Making too much sense.
I'm expecting too much. By the way, I know that a lot of you guys have commented on the quick little video that I did of my cooking video that I did on Sunday for the Sunday podcast. If you haven't seen that, check it out. I just made a quick lunch, my take on shrimp scampi and like literally a side salad. But you can check that out. There is actually a spaghetti tacos episode from years ago. You can find it right here. From iCarly and from the show iCarly. And because my kids always love that. So I used to make Landon spaghetti tacos all the time. And so you can actually check that out. I actually have a few of that. I did some really silly ones. Like I did like a how to make a birthday cake. So that was fun. I did how to make a peanut butter chocolate bacon sundae. That's on there from years ago. And there's one that I wish I hadn't done. I gave it a weird filter because I made it all this black and white like lines and stuff, kind of almost like animated stuff, but it was like how to make pudding. And then I got one how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I got a bunch of silly ones, but yeah, but everybody seemed to really like because the one I did on Sunday was actually a cooking video that I did for me and Dawson. So you can check it out. But yeah, have fun with that. And of course, guys, you can always find me right here at the Poindexter Lounge, holding it down. Exactly. Holding it down here, holding down the fort, folks. You know what? We keep doing what we do, and we're going to keep doing what we do. Thanks to all of you. And I want to say a personal shout out and thank you. I want to thank Kelsey. And I'm gonna do this in another video too because I meant to do it at the top of the show. But thank you to Kelsey, thank you to Abraham, and I got one more coming. But thank you guys for helping me get this dark side. So the armor,
nice,
the armor
Awesome.
dark side. Thank you so much. I got to get one more because I got one. My two boys wanted one, and then Tiffany wanted one for her own. And so so I got to get one more. So if anybody has a lead on on one more dark side, please touch base with me, and we'll figure it out. But I appreciate all of you who helped me. I put that out on Twitter last week, and you guys were so awesome. And you know what? I didn't share this story here. Ray Porter himself messaged me and said, "Hey, have you gotten a dark side yet?" And I said, dude, I said, I said, I got one. I said, we were looking for one more at the time. And he's like, I'm on it. And I went, what do you mean you're on it? He goes, I'm on it. That dude literally spent the day going to different Target stores and calling different Target stores for me.
Wow.
And all over Hollywood, trying to find another dark side for me.
That's love.
And then in the end, he wasn't able to find one. He did find one that was like 20 minutes away, but they said that somebody had just called, and he's like, well, I'm not gonna beat them there. So, but he did tell me, he says, Enosh, anything that you get, he says that you want me to sign, you just send it over and I will sign it for you. No problem. I mean,
are they hard to find online?
They're expensive. You can get them on Amazon, but they're like $60.
How about Big Bad Toy Store?
Big Bad Toy Store.
Are they out?
It was a Target exclusive because it was the San Diego Comic-Con version. So they sell usually for $40. I've seen a couple as low as about $65 to $70, but then like they try to make it up with the shipping, so it's like a shipping cost that doesn't make any sense. It's like one of those things. So it's like, so you see them like 80. I've seen them. I saw one that was $120, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is absolutely ridiculous. But people are going to try to do what they do. I'm hoping that either somebody finds one for me, or that I can, pay them for, or the prices eventually start coming down a little bit online. We'll see. Kiki Sphincter here says, with a $4.99 super chat, thank you, sir, says more salads too. Yeah. You know what? Like, I've got some salad ideas. I just had a nice salad tonight. I made a nice salad with some fresh strawberries and yeah, it was good. It's good. I used to be a cook, and in another life, I was a cook at a restaurant. So, like, I've come up with all kinds of. I've lived a very interesting life, folks. It's been interesting. It's been
more
an
ahead
run, and more ahead, absolutely. So I look forward to every bit of it. So I'm glad that you like that. I just threw that up there, just being funny and just being fun to just be like, hey, here's a little thing that I'm doing, and I figured I'd film it. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. That means a lot to me. So follow us on social media and all that fun stuff. Thank you to my panel tonight. Thank you to everyone in the chat. You guys make this so much fun, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys making every episode that we do just that much.
This was a great discussion, great show tonight.
It was a good show tonight.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you guys coming on, and thanks to Max. Max was here for a second, but he had to leave. And then I actually saw Ty from Pop Culture Corner. He again popped up for just a second and disappeared. So I don't know if he was having problems with his internet or what was going on, but hopefully we can have those guys back in another time soon. So like I always say, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. Don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter. But seek to have good conversations and seek to learn from one another. And at the end of the day, we can do that, and that's all right. And also, if you did something wrong, if you hurt somebody, or maybe you messed up, you just maybe you weren't even meaning to, but you messed up. It's okay to apologize. It's okay to admit when we're wrong and say we're sorry. It's okay. There's nothing bad about that. It takes a strong person to admit when they're wrong. And so I leave you with that tonight. And of course, I leave you with this. Till next time, stay nerdy.
I hate the word content. When people say they're putting out content, it means they're putting out garbage filler material because they have nothing to say. With that being said, I have now completed my content for the day.